house. Here on a Tuesday night, the Scotties, the Tournament of Hearts, continues. Now this afternoon in Draw 10, it was a big game for Prince Edward Island as Suzanne Birt was playing Alberta and Shannon Clybrink. And of course, Clybrink, the bronze medalist from the Winter Olympics of 2006. This is in 10, and she's drawing against a couple, and she'll make it, forcing it to an extra, and she'd go on to steal the win. PEI picking up the win against Alberta. The final was 7-5. British Columbia snaps a 3-game losing streak with a win over Quebec. And Team Canada, they lost last night. Then earlier today, they won 10-2 over BC. Then they whipped Newfoundland Labrador 10-4. And Saskatchewan wins 8-5 over Ontario. So, as we check the standings, Saskatchewan is your only undefeated team with 6 straight wins, followed by Ontario. Team Canada, Nova Scotia had 2 losses, on through Manitoba, Newfoundland, and Labrador on the bottom at 1-5. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of this year's Scotties from Charlottetown, and Linda Russell alongside. You know, as long as we've seen Suzanne, first Goody, and now Birt, there's been great expectations, hasn't there?
Her first year was so terrific, right out of juniors, and did so well in round-robin play before losing in the playoffs. Since then, it's been a struggle for Suzanne, but she's built a very nice team. And now you add on the expectations of the hometown fans. You wonder how they'll do. Started out a little slowly, but the front end have really helped out, taking off the pressure. Leslie McDougall, Robin McPhee, terrific in the round-robin, but in particular the last 2 games. That's the kind of shots they made in the extra and win earlier today, and that's the kind of shots they need to make for the rest of the event.
For Nova Scotia, Russ, this is a different team than the one that they hoped to put in the playdowns. Colleen Jones was skipping this team. Then she came down with illness before Christmas time. Heather Smith-Dacey has picked up, and thank you very much. Here they are.
No kidding. We talk about Manitoba and some of the teams having to make shuffles in their lineups. How do you play without Colleen Jones, arguably the best female curl that's ever played the game? And they're doing it, and they're doing it with low numbers. The Heather's numbers are only 71 for the week. That's pretty low, but I remember a guy by the name of Mark Dacey, who's related and coaching, that ended up 7th, I believe, with their stats for the week and won the Brier, beating Randy Furby with the 3. You make the right shots at the right time, you can win a lot of games, and Heather's doing it.
So it's all maritime. It's Prince Edward Island, and we know the place will be jumping here in Charlottetown against Nova Scotia when we come back.
The 2011 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be the only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
Here we go for the day on the road again. We can dream away.
The comfort of Purex, the feeling of home. It's softness they'll notice with cashmere softness.
Up here in the great wide north, the world thinks we just like to canoe or run around in our snowshoes. While that all may be true for the last quarter century, every spring here's what we Canucks really love to do. Roll up the red to win, that's right, we go to 10, grab a double-double, and we roll up the rim to win. Let it roll for 25 years, this is how we roll.
Mary Dobbin has been curling for 3 weeks. She has never really been accurate. But on the last rock of the last end of her Monday Night Women's League, she makes her first raise to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. She called it. She made it. And today, for this one moment, Mary Bullseye Dobbin feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Busy Mom Basics at Walmart.
Being my mom isn't easy. She has to get me going, get me there, take care of me, and catch my big moments. I don't know how she does it, but she makes it look easy.
Walmart makes it easier for moms to be moms with unbeatable prices on the basics. Walmart. Save money, live better.
With the professional, independent advice of a licensed insurance broker working for you, you can sleep easy. Insurance brokers don't work for an insurance company, and they don't sell insurance either. They choose your insurance with you, getting you the right coverage at the right price, and are there to help in the event of a claim, so you can sleep easy. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Speed Weekend on TSN2. Strap in. NASCAR action heats up in the desert. Saturday. NASCAR Nationwide Series kicks things off. Fashion Supermarket 200 from Phoenix International Raceway. Then, Sunday afternoon, Sprint Cup Series. Subway Fresh Fit 500. Speed Weekend. Starts Saturday at 5 on TSN2. The 2011 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. By Tim Hortons' new breakfast wraps. And by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association.
Full draw, 4 games on the ice here at the Charlottetown Civic Center. Northwest Territories Yukon against Saskatchewan, still undefeated. New Brunswick at 4 losses, playing Ontario, coming off the loss to Amber Holland of Saskatchewan. Our featured game is on Sheet C, and on Sheet D, Alberta, after giving up the loss to PEI, playing Manitoba and Kathy Overton Clapham. It's time now to meet the teams, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Celebrate 25 years of roll up the rim to win. Nova Scotia, out of the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax, Heather Smith-Dacey with Terry Lake, Bliss Comstack, and Danielle Parsons. PEI champions are right from here, the Charlottetown Curling Club, skipped by Suzanne Birt with Leslie McDougall, Robin McPhee, and Shelley Bradley. They've been together for just a single year. Nova Scotia, playing the Redstones, has won the draw to the button, so they will have the hammer and to get us going. Playing the Yellow Rocks, as Suzanne Birt is out, here is the PEI lead, Leslie McDougall.
It did seem that win against Team Canada got this team going. They are playing so much better the last 2 games. The last game was close, and Alberta had a chance in the extra to win it. But still some very nice shot making in the 10th and 11th ends by PEI to keep the pressure on their opposition. And as I say, I think Leslie and Robin were a big part of that.
It's curling now.
To beat Canada and Alberta is really two nice victories. Those are tougher teams theoretically for sure, and nice wins down the stretch.
9.5. 9.5.
For this team, Nova Scotia, a very nice comeback earlier against Manitoba, and that's the kind of thing you look for, that determination, the fact that they're a new team. As you said, Russ changed the lineup around. You never know the lack of confidence that could come to being pushed into these new positions, but the determination they showed against Manitoba is a very good sign.
Yeah, they're down 4 in that game fairly early, mind you, but still, that's a lot of points early, and you obviously didn't play well in the first couple of ends, and how do you turn that around? They've done a nice job.
Looks like we're heading for a wide open end here. First rock in, and now we're playing the hit game.
It's a little wide. Should come up a bit. Close to normal. Good, Les.
So little or no action. Perfect time to say. Good evening, Kathy Gauthier.
Oh, that's so friendly, Victor. You know, you talk about the crowd, Linda, in your opening. It's interesting for Suzanne Birt. The first couple games, she said they were tentative with that great performance last year from Team PEI. They almost felt that maybe the crowd was expecting a different team. Pretty hard when you have that on your back. When they realized at the Canada game that the crowd is cheering for PEI, regardless who that is, they made them one of their friends. They felt like it was a big warm hug, and they've taken that forward. They all feel it's raised their performance. They want to give the crowd a reason to cheer, and that's showing up in the stats.
This is probably heavy still.
I think that's a great point because there's no doubt the fact that Kathy O'Rourke and the team made their first ever final a year ago before losing to Jennifer Jones, and in fact came very close to winning it. There was that added expectation. We talked earlier of the expectation coming out of junior, but that expectation of repeating what may be, you know, who knows, for PEI once in just a while because of the strength of the other provinces.
It was such a magical year last year for the PEI team, coming so close, going an extra end and then losing. And I guess a lot of people felt it looked like they might win and we may see 2 PEI teams here, but it wasn't to be, and this team has that pressure. You're right, Vic.
And of course, I mean, there's all this focus last night and again this afternoon. The premier of PEI, Robert Giz, was in attendance.
Now that's a big mistake and a very unexpected mistake as far as I'm concerned from Robin McPhee for PEI. That was supposed to be in the rings, and that's just over the hog line.
You see it a lot. Everybody tries to race to the button in practice. They go edge of the 8 in this case to draw the button and get their draw weight, get used to it. And sometimes you go a little tighter first, second end. There's still some fresh pebble there, and that was not a good effort.
Oh, it's gone, it's gone. What? Oh, it's gone, it's gone.
It's not.
Interesting choices, too. Heather Smith-Dacey waiting until the rock was behind the tee line to make a move on a corner, and then that rock corner guard was left for the come-around attempt by PEI, and so it started to look like a wide open end, and with those choices between the 2 skips, we see a completely different kind of end.
70, 75.
Line's tight.
Top.
Line's good.
366, I think they said, Linda.
And we have been seeing 385. 3.9 is the back line to hog interval at the start. So a little bit slower now.
Only for line. Whoa. T-line. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
And it might be good, but it's not great. Certainly behind the tee line there, and there's still actually a double here if they wanted to.
90?
No.
If you're 65 on your first, like 70 maybe? 75?
Bit of a guess, because now there's a couple in that spot. It cleans it up quite a bit. You have to be careful.
Your line's good.
Don't forget, the intervals may sound different from player to player. Some players extend, some pull back a little bit. The extension is a proven way of adding a little bit of weight and extending to get the feel. So there will be differences in those numbers. Hog to hog times will stay the same.
A lot of the young curlers have the dip toe on their back rudder foot, and they glide forever, and you can see a big discrepancy. You're absolutely right. Nice little freeze there and a little bit of a tap.
The tap frees up a little more space for Nova Scotia to score. But it does mean there's a little more room for PEI to do something with it.
Back forward. Slowing down a little bit. Let it move. Line for line. Whoa. Let it move. Whoa. Curl. You're good. That's a good shot. You probably get it this way, hey?
Yeah, I don't mind that way.
Talking about the other turn.
Yeah.
Just here. Just touch it a bit.
Yeah.
Great call. It's
So what do you think of
overburied.
yours?
You tend to want to play this side. You can see it, but this is the only way to remove it past the red one. You hit it on the high side on the out turn. The half, you can see you're going to jam it anyway. So even though this is overburied with the right weight, it'll curl in there with that long, long guard. Should be a bit of pebble here too.
Wait's nice.
Whoa, line. Whoa, for line.
Wait's nice.
Whoa.
Sliding. Whoa.
Yep.
One only.
Okay, whoa. Oh, it's gone, whoa.
Roll it here.
Oh, no, it's not even on it yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Now the rub and roll off. And it'll spin out the back.
Kind of liking this way.
This way, yeah. It's hard to get by that guard, though.
This side's way quicker. Yeah.
This side you need like a 75.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay.
Here's the confirmation, a little quicker on the in-turn side that Shelley's going to play right now than the out-turn. Good teams pick that up.
60 line. Why no lead?
Whoa, lots of room.
Back four.
Whoa!
Where?
Back four. Whoa.
Back four. T-line.
T-line. Top four.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa, just top four. T-line. On its own. We're right.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And down on the corner to sit two, Prince Edward Island here in the first, but without last rock.
Good shot. That works.
One mistake by Nova Scotia. Danielle with it heavy and going through the back. And now Smith-Dacey has decided to peel.
Clean.
It's very fast when you start to get these rocks in the 4-foot, how quickly it can turn around for one team or another.
Nice throw.
And she doesn't like those two at the top of the 4-foot.
And this can turn around again because Heather Smith-Dacey realizes that's an awfully easy double. Hit it dead on, you sit two. So PI has to be careful placing this guard. It has to be good.
I'm sure with all the yellows in the rings, they love to get at that red one, but it is tucked in behind an overlap situation.
Yeah.
Halfway.
Just halfway, not too tight.
Okay.
It's like a knot. It's like this morning down this side.
Okay.
A 90.
Suzanne has had 2 games in the 50s, but her last game was 82%.
Our first update, Alberta and Manitoba, Kathy, and the 2 Redstones in the rings belong to Shannon Clybrink out of Calgary. Final rock on the way from Kathy Overton Clapham.
Well, for Kathy, it's her first draw. She hit and rolled out on the first one, and that's when Shannon Clybrink buried that stone. That's the one that is the shot stone in the 8-foot. And so it is a new path for Kathy and a draw. Needs the 4-foot for the point.
Been a difficult Scotties so far for the Manitoba champions.
And they've got their original rotation back in tonight, Vic. Brienne is sitting again.
Brienne Meekin, the 5th player, went in today at the 3rd position, and they shuffled people down the lineup.
Good job, Kat. Good. I'm still going to sit there. One yellow? I was kind of like to open this side.
Amy Nixon to confirm, yeah, a little nod of the head, 1 yellow, and just by that much, Manitoba takes an early lead.
It's a very nice guard position by PEI.
I was wondering, yeah, just peel, and then I'm probably going to have to play a bump on that side red one. Okay. If we can get the side red one to open up that side, then great.
Great awareness of the situation. If they get the chance or once they know they have the peel, they'll sweep it all the way down, hit it thin enough, try to move that red corner guard, which could open up an in-turn draw for her last one. Because that might be all she has.
Yep, 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 hard. Get it.
Almost.
Good throw. Good throw, Heather. Yeah.
3rd time at the Scotties for Heather Smith-Dacey.
What's that?
Her first trip was playing 3rd with Kay Zink, and then she skipped a team to the provincial title. That was in 2004, and now 2011, moving up to the skip position.
Suzanne Birt would love the same guard she just played. Just got that big rotation on the rock, and generally speaking, it doesn't over curl as much as some players. Still have to throw it cleanly.
I think this team really struggled early. They play on very straight ice down here, and they really struggle putting the broom in the right spot in their opening game against New Brunswick, and they seem to have the hang of it here now.
Whoa, whoa, easy, easy. Whoa, not too tight. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's good.
Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Kerry Galusha from Yellowknife lost their first 4, Kathy, have won 2 in a row, but boy, they're in tough here. Look at the Yellow Stones, and of course they belong to the undefeated Amber Holland of Saskatchewan.
Well, and she made a great one, Amber did on her final one. She hit and rolled on the open stone behind the guard, so this is a cold draw to the 4-foot against 3.
We need 7, line's good. Gotta curl a bit if it's too heavy.
Don Moses.
Where is it?
In the house.
Don't touch it, Shona.
And needs that just to take the steam out of it. And now they'll have a look. Did it just slip a little too far? Or does it? One red it is. And so it did stop in time. So an early lead for Kerry Galusha of Yellowknife.
It looks hard on the nose to me.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if you get rid of one, that's a good shot.
Yeah, okay.
The draw has really been taken away by this guard over in this area here, so Heather's gonna run it straight back, which she's been great at all week.
Hard on the nose.
But if she hits it there, she gets them all. But if she hits it more in this area, there's a small possibility that yellow will sneak by, hit the red. Red goes out, and that could be a big problem. I think that might be there, Linda. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's very close.
Have to be pretty unlucky, but
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Final stone.
Whoa.
Heather Smith-Dacey in Nova Scotia in some early trouble here. And she's going to run it by. And the crowd all night will tell you what's going on. That's a steal of 2. Prince Edward Island here in the first.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be. The only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
Nothing feels like cashmere.
Technology? Ford technology.
Helps me to be a better driver.
My mirror tells me
When someone's in my blind spot.
There's sensors all over my car.
all around. Beep, beep, beep. My car senses other cars.
It automatically slows down.
It's too close, it's like, whoa.
I can use my voice
To turn things on and off.
My car parallel parks itself.
How did you do that?
My eyes are on the road.
Hands are on the wheel.
That's safe driving.
You know, the stuff that you learn.
When you learn how to drive. You never learn to drive in a car like this.
Smarter cars make the difference. Ford. Drive one.
Así es mi Cuba, mi hermano.
Auténtica, como el agua de su playa, como el sol de su montaña, como el rato de su gente que sonríe diferente.
Así es mi Cuba, mi hermano.
Auténtica.
Cuba es auténtica.
Before I got my Capital One Aspire card, I was buying everything at gas stations just to get bonus miles. Looking good. Stuff for special occasions. Oh, wiper blade for you. The holidays. Even parties. Happy birthday! But now, thanks to Aspire, I get 2 reward miles for every $1 on everything I buy.
The new Capital One Aspire card. Earn 2 reward miles for every $1 spent on everything you buy. Visit CapitalOne.ca.
What's in your wallet?
The goal of the program is for the kids to have fun curling. By taking the program into the schools, we're reaching a lot of communities that have no access to curling, that have never seen the sport before. So we're hoping to reach a whole new audience base and of course youth as well. I mean, for the future of the sport, we've got to get kids involved. I think you can hear and see by the screaming and yelling that they're really enjoying it. So I mean, we want them to think of curling as fun when they do get an opportunity to get out on the ice and play.
These These aren't your typical FBI profilers.
We work better off the grid.
I understand clandestine, but this is really off the grid.
No expensive suits and no fancy offices.
I would just like to do a good job, earn my place on this team.
And when they hunt down a killer,
you won't be able to handle a strong, opinionated one.
I'd be delighted.
There's nowhere to hide.
Playing chess. We're 3 moves ahead.
An all-new Criminal Minds Suspect Behavior. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
Tuesday night, 4th day of play, round robin. We passed the midway point of this year's Scotties here in Charlottetown as we welcome you back to the Civic Center. What a start for PEI. Early pressure in Nova Scotia. Can't respond, and so it's a 2-0 lead for PEI. Nova Scotia once again has the last rock here in the second. First stone in, Linda, and now the hit.
Well, if I was to assess the reason for the hit, when you look at the fact that Nova Scotia's down 2, I think this is maybe a mental strategy as opposed to a tactical choice. And that is that Heather Smith-Dacey realizes that they had opportunities in that first end and execution wasn't there. So she's not going to make any big move on a rock in the forefoot, leaving it there and putting up a corner until the team settles down a little bit.
You get that gut feeling once in a while as a skip, don't you, with the team and how they're feeling, the body language, and there's lots of game left here.
Little left. No, it's okay. 9.5. Little left. Same weight. Lead. Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 Danielle.
They're trying to roll it over a little bit. If they happen to get a nose hit on a back rock, you might see some freezes. That's a very low-risk approach to getting the deuce.
Control. Control. Clean. Yep. Hard. 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 That's good. Good, good. Shot. Shot. Shoot. Okay.
So the rock is not in as risky a spot behind the tee line in the 8-foot, and now it'll be a cornered guard called for Bliss. They always have that opportunity to freeze if this side doesn't work out.
How's the weight?
We've made this play a few times, Linda, and by throwing the corner, you sometimes trick the other team. They might say, well, let's just split the house and we go around that corner guard, and you see it happen a lot. And if PI goes around that corner, comes a little deep, and then it's game on.
Nice, Bliss.
Walking up, no trick.
Didn't fool anybody.
No, you're right. Sometimes it looks pretty juicy. I think the steal of 2 in the first end for PEI is dictating a lot of these decisions. I don't think Suzanne will play with anything for the moment. The other team has to be the one to take the risk, make the good shots.
Clean. Clean. Good shot.
Great clean throw by Robin there. We were right behind the sheet and just let that go dead on the stick. Playing really well right now.
She was an all-star in that 2003 season where they did so well, losing the 1-2 game and then the semifinal.
Left. Halfway. Okay.
Bliss Comstock throwing the second
Mine's good.
stones
Mine's
for
better.
the Nova Scotia team. Won that Canadian junior with Jill Mauser back in 2004. Then they ended up losing to Norway at the Worlds, and a team skipped by Lynn Gitmark.
Good, Bliss.
And all those names sort of come around. We're growing up with them. We're growing old with them. That's what it is.
We're growing old, that's for sure.
Shelley Bradley.
Just, yeah. Yep, go, go. Ready, go. Whoa. Yeah. Good, good. Shot. Shot, Shell.
And the shooter will spin past the stone in the 8-foot.
So I thought it would be a freeze call, and instead they'll play the hit.
Okay, just a nose. 9.5.
Just too late now as we play third stones. Is that the thought?
Yeah, I think so, Vic. And I played a lot against Mark, too, and I assume Mark has a bit of an influence here as the coach. And
Wait, it's
he always played the percentages. The odds of scoring 2 now are fairly slim. So if you play the freeze and it doesn't quite work out, you might be forced to 1. So nothing wrong with this either.
Nice throw.
A lot of teams would have played the freeze, though, wouldn't they, Linda, depending on their
And
style?
I do like it, I have to confess. Usually if you have an idea of where to put the broom, you're going to be close, and often the other team blasts everything out, and you still have a chance for the blank. So.
And you should have an idea by now. Two 10-minute practices.
Yeah, it's Tuesday night. You've been here a while. And should have figured it out.
Hanging on that line. Just clean. Nice throw.
And I guess if I'm looking at the stats, I'm also a little surprised that she would play it out, because actually Nova Scotia's only been involved in 1 blank end. And it was an opposition team that did it against them. So obviously they normally keep rocks in play and don't play for those blanks. They usually go for it.
9.5. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean. Clean, clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. Clean. Whoa. Sit, 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 sit. Sit, sit.
You just may have to play that again if you were with us last evening. We know that now the doubt has been planted about the rings, because BC, Kelly Scott got caught thinking a stone was out. They put the stick to it. It was in, and when it was an early steal for Ontario. So now you're never sure, or you're. It's not right to say never, but.
Well, a good lesson, though. Take that biter measure out when you have your 1-hour practice on the Friday before the event starts. And fifth man coach, anybody on the team, get out there and zip them around. There's only 8 circles here. It doesn't take a lot of time.
And the point that we made was it wasn't even close. Like if you'd seen a circle and it was pretty close, you still might not be sure. But that one was distinctively different.
Skip stones here in the second. Suzanne Birt.
Clean. Nice shot. Great shot.
Who? Yeah. Well, they probably know, though, right?
It's amazing what a little confidence does, a couple of wins. Everything just looks smoother to me with Suzanne. The throws are a little smoother. The release is nice and clean. She's always had the big rotation, and that works very well on this ice with these stones. It just looks different today.
My excuse being an Easterner is just getting used to that big curl again, because they did. You're right. They struggled. They struggled big time in a couple of games, and they're right back to where they should be, throwing some nice shots.
But you never know. Just after Paul's story.
It looks out, but yeah.
I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah. Little soft. Little clean. Finish. Clean. 9.5. Oh, just clean. Clean. Yep. Oh, okay, you're okay. Good throw,
Nice
Heather.
throw, Heather.
Well, the front end did a little boo-boo. That's why we're taking an extra moment. They got out the wrong color for their skip to throw. That wouldn't work very well.
Just control
Suzanne
again.
had to go get her own rock. The stopwatch at the ready. They're even timing their hits.
Control. A little bit more. Whoa. Bump there. Did you see that? Whoa. Just clean. Whoa, right off. It's coming nice. Clean's fine. Girl, baby girl. Clean's fine. Clean's fine. Nice shot, Sue. Good.
Shot.
A nice roll, too, to the center line. Back 12.
Leslie, did you hear Leslie say to Robin that rock jumped a little bit? It hit a little bump on the ice, and I can't imagine it's the ceiling or anything. So that what often happens when you're pebbling the ice, you get a little bit of water splashed on the side of the pebbling can, and a couple, 2 or 3 drops stop in the same spot. You end up with a bit of a bump. That'll disappear, but that rock actually hopped a little bit.
So she didn't take many chances, and a chance now to blank.
Clean. Great throw.
Looking for the blank and
Nice, Heather.
chance to start again. Nova Scotia will take the hammer to the third, but down 2-0 to PEI here in draw 11.
The goal of the program is for the kids to have fun curling. By taking the program into the schools, we're reaching a lot of communities that have no access to curling, that have never seen the sport before. So we're hoping to reach a whole new audience base and of course youth as well. I mean, for the future of the sport, we've got to get kids involved. I think you can hear and see by the screaming and yelling that they're really enjoying it. So I mean, we want them to think of curling as fun when they do get an opportunity to get out on the ice and play.
Bobby, I need to get some packages to Chicago in a couple of days.
Okay, who should I use?
FedEx.
FedEx? I thought they just did urgent shipping.
What? You think being amazing at one thing means you can't be amazing at other things too?
So you're saying that FedEx is reliable for shipping less urgent stuff to the U.S. too?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Checkmate, Sergey. Chang.
It's true. FedEx has reliable, less urgent options to the U.S. Relax, it's FedEx.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be the only one for me is you. And
M&M and you.
so happy together. Up here in the great wide north, the world thinks we just like to canoe or run around in our snowshoes. While that all may be true for the last quarter century, every spring here's what we Canucks really love to do. Roll up the red to win, that's right, we go to tin, grab a double-double, and we roll up the rip to win. Let it roll for 25 years, this is how we roll.
Tons of caramel, loads of fudge, and piles of peanuts, all covered in a chocolatey coating. O. Henry, the colossal combination.
Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years. And to celebrate our 30th anniversary, we're giving away 30 pairs of sparkling diamond earrings. The Diamond Anniversary Sweeps Contest. Enter online at Scotties.ca for your shot to win.
These aren't your typical FBI profilers.
We work better off the grid.
I understand clandestine, but this is really off the grid.
No expensive suits and no fancy offices.
I would just like to do a good job, earn my place on this team.
And when they hunt down a killer,
You won't be able to handle a strong, opinionated one.
I'd be delighted.
there's nowhere to hide.
Playing chess with 3 moves ahead.
An all-new Criminal Minds Suspect Behavior. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
Welcome back to the Charlottetown Civic Center, and doesn't this look familiar? PEI first stone in, top of the button, and here we go with Nova Scotia and lead Terry Lake. 2-0 PEI leading after the blanket two. We're playing now in the third. Once again, Nova Scotia does have the last rock playing the Redstone.
Give credit to Leslie McDougall. Heather Smith-Dacey was waiting for a mistake from the lead of the PEI team to see if she could wait and get a good corner guard in position without the rock being on the button, but no, sir, that's not what you're going to get. But she does put up the corner, and now the center guard has been called.
Tight.
Wait for it if you can. Let it move a little bit. Let it move. I think it's tight.
Go if you can. Go.
Let it burn a bit.
Little at the
Really
end. Tight. Maybe top 12.
Mine's getting good.
Slowing down.
Yep, right to center.
Yep. Hard, hard, hard.
Two perfect shots by Leslie. Nice and tight to the top of the 12-foot there to make it difficult for Nova Scotia to bend one around there. Lined up perfectly.
$95.
Now this is the shot we've talked about. This is a come around to the face of the Yellowstone, but there's no way you want to go by it on the wide side. Very nice.
Nice shot.
So this Nova Scotia team ends up beating Marianne Arsenault. Of course, Marianne having played all those years with Colleen Jones, and then beats Teresa Breen, a former Ontario resident, now living in Nova Scotia. Heather Smith-Dacey skips this team because, of course, Colleen Jones, about a week or so prior to playdowns, comes down with meningitis. And then so she's forced to sit, and up moves Heather Smith-Dacey, and the team goes on to win the Nova Scotia Provincial. Robin McPhee.
Playing the run back.
Normal. Close. Close. Whoa. 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 Girl.
Oh, and the double jam at the back leaves the Nova Scotia Stone sitting shot back 8. So prior to heading off here to Charlottetown, Colleen had the team over to her home.
She's so inspiring, and we had a session with her with our team before we left, and it was pretty funny because she brought out all her hardware and she just surrounded us with it, and she said, my room's not usually decorated like this, I just wanted to give you guys a little extra incentive. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we started the year with Colleen, you know, that was our intention, is to come back and have her repeat again here. So, you know, life gives you obstacles all the time, and you don't have to necessarily change your goal, you just work around it. So.
Really hard to get by. Really hard.
And you can imagine the hardware that Colleen would have had. Started, of course, with a Canada Games bronze medal back there, I think, in 1979 in Brandon. But a Hall of Famer, she is a 6-time Canadian, 2-time world champion, Colleen Jones. And we are so glad to say she's on the road to recovery. And Colleen Jones joins us now on the phone from her home in Halifax. Colleen, it is so good to have you on the line. How are you feeling?
I feel great, actually. Yeah, I joke that I've got now a lifetime warranty for the next 50 years anyhow, or so, hopefully.
Now, have you had the surgery to repair the fluid leak?
You know what? I have a hole in my head, basically, Vic. You might have been suspicious of that all along. No, I haven't had that yet. I am waiting for that, and I keep kind of hoping for a miracle that I won't need it. But I'm so glad to see Heather and the girls playing so well. They've really, we were supposed to go to practice on the Saturday that the meningitis came down, and I remember Terry Lake calling my house saying, "Why isn't Colleen here?" And my husband, Scott, who's very low-key, He said, she's not feeling well. They kind of were suspicious. And then the next day, I'm in the hospital. They were like, what? But they took that obstacle and they didn't just hold their tents. They've just gotten stronger every day since then. So it's nice to see.
We apologize for the quality of the line. Canada Winter Games are on, of course, in Halifax. And you won your first bit of hardware, I'm suggesting that, in the Canada Games in Brandon. Weren't you just inducted into the Canada Games Hall of Fame?
I was with Katrina LeMay-Doan, so it was really nice. And I know you guys had the list of past Canada Game graduates up there, which is nice to see as well. But that definitely is sort of what kick-started my curling. It was really... Carrie Burtnick won the gold for the men that same year in Brandon. I think he went off and won the Brier in 81. And I was runner-up in Canada the year after the Canada Games in 1980. So that's the last century, a long time ago.
Colleen, we thank you so much, and we are all very pleased that you are feeling much better, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for joining us.
Take care, Colleen.
See you, Colleen.
Colleen Jones, 6-time Canadian, 2-time world champion, from her home and watching tonight from Halifax as she watches her teammates from the Mayflower in Halifax trying to battle back here in the third, down 2-0 to Prince Edward Island.
Boy, this one's tracking down the center line here. The speed's not too bad, but it's just not curling. Plan B.
Trying to get it by and wrap it around on the back one. Just go a little too far. Nice shot making by PEI to get that yellow one in that position. They removed a Nova Scotia stone and sat right there, partly behind cover.
Just need to be in the 8-foot.
It's about a 75 or 80, right? Yeah.
2-point lead. You'd love to remove the red rock, but it's tough to get at that one. You tick your own. It gives Nova Scotia a chance to sit 2 with hammer, so they're just going to split the house here and try to force Nova Scotia to take a single.
78.
What? Oh, then where? T-line? Roll off then, whoa. We're back 8, back 12.
Inside out, this is the quick spot.
Straight up.
This is one of those that if it's that deep, you might as well take it through.
And through it will go.
It's like hack weight. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind. You could tap and roll. So just a hair less?
I don't mind this for now. Okay.
Aggressive call here, 2 down. They could just tap it out, but it would probably set up a double, so just the angle freeze, and they can lock it on the corner. It's a great call.
How's the weight?
Talked about the struggles with draw weight. Of the 2/3, Shelley Bradley has the superior numbers for draws. Danielle Parsons is down at 58%. They really need this draw in the right spot.
Line's really good, just no bounce. It's close.
Sit. Yep, stay with it. Sit.
Beauty.
Well done. Very nice shot. There might be room around that corner, but you have to sliver that corner guard to get it out.
Danielle.
Just freezing? Yeah, sure. I like that. Should we just guard it? No, they are guarding it. Let's go. What? Is there shot? There's shot. I think we're shot. Maybe not. Should tap it.
You like freezing to the nose of it, or?
What are you doing?
Freezing to
Their
the...
shot, right?
Their shot, yeah.
Okay.
But maybe we should hit it on the nose, eh? I can see all of it.
They're thinking about freezing in the corner, and I don't like it at all. If it stays wide open at all, it's a wide open hit. To sit 3 here, all these go.
Right, maybe
So,
that'd be good.
I think they got to make a play on this, whether they like it or not.
That's great.
Kind of weight.
Well, Linda, can you get across?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
She
was
says she can
thinking.
see all of it. Can you get across
Shelley
the
did.
nose of
You
it
don't wanna
to
hit this,
avoid
though.
killing your own
You're going to hit it,
and saving it and removing the stone.
Well, you can get to the nose, Vic, and you can save the shooter, and I think that's the main thing. They've already played this spot once, as I mentioned. They got a little inside flop. That's how the yellow one got there. So they actually should know the ice of how to remove it.
But they're going to lose that yellow one beside it, you think, eh?
Probably. Not necessarily, though. If you threw like a board here, Vic, I think you could slide by that yellow one and hit 2/3 on the inside, and it would then miss it. It's not easy. But you could certainly, it removes this rock. That's the key.
Oh boy, right out of the hand. Leslie McDougall, Robin McPhee, because that corner guard is going to come into play very quickly.
Hey.
Kudos to Nova Scotia. They could have tapped it out and tried to sit 2, but they played the aggressive call. They put pressure on PI and rewarded with a miss here. Very good opportunity to hit sit 3 here. It's nice to see they're applying pressure. You know, you have to be confident to do that.
And a great shot by the third. So now Heather Smith-Dacey's goal is to try and roll away and not leave something right back.
And the angle's perfect for that, isn't it?
Let's go over to see what's happening Alberta, Manitoba. Now Alberta, Clybrink scored 1 in the second and appears to be lying 1 button, 1 top 4, final stone. Manitoba, Kathy Overton Clapham, Kathy Gauthier.
Well, this is the same shot that Kathy played on her first one with an Alberta stone buried. Kathy elected to try to draw, find a way to score 2, and that is the red shot stone that Shannon Clybrink came back down and tapped the shot stone back. So for Kathy needs to get back on top of that stone. Same shot as her first.
Very nice. She'll move it just far enough to score the 1. Manitoba up 2-1. And you can see Manitoba at 1-5, and I'll suggest that's, you know, if you're going to have any chance, you got to win tonight and just run the table out. 6-5 might get you something. 6 losses is a little too much to ask, it would seem.
And Vic, what a huge mistake on our sheet. An over curl to do the shot really Suzanne was trying to do, over curling into that spot, and that means that the Yellowstone belonging to PEI is now shot rock.
You know what? It surprised me in as much as you were shot stone, you being Nova Scotia. Why not just play the other side and just play away from it?
Yeah, you could have, Vic, actually, with your first one sat 2, but it would probably allow the PI team to sit and stay, and then the most you're ever going to score is 2. By playing that angle raised properly, it brings 3 into play. They might be wishing they called your shot. That really overcurled. It's 2 in a row. Susan wrecked in the corner, and if you were ever going to miss that one, you had to miss it the other way and hit it thin. And the worst part for Nova Scotia is they're no longer shot rock. Here we are down that same path that Shelley Bradley missed. This has to slow down. Uh-oh.
Well, you get the break, and then you hand the chance right back.
Okay.
Wow, is right.
What was that one? 74.
67.
What? Yeah, but what you can throw into the button.
Yeah. Go the same way? You know it's moving.
Do you want to take more?
So a little more ice?
Throw a little bit more.
Or I mean a little more weight?
Throw a 10.
Yeah, because we can afford to hit it on the center line side. Yeah.
This shot is much simpler because you don't have to worry about where the shooter rolls to. You just hit it back on that yellow and you get 3.
That was like a 10.5?
Boy, what a big draw that was.
Yeah, because the line was good, so I'll just try for 10. I mean, we can afford to hit this on the nose. We couldn't on the last one, so.
Okay. So kind of wait. 10. Okay.
The 2 over curls here. We'll see what happens.
And that'll work for 1, 2, and 3 for Nova Scotia.
Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years. And to celebrate our 30th anniversary, we're giving away 30 pairs of sparkling diamond earrings. The Diamond Anniversary Sweeps Contest. Enter online at scotties.ca for your shot to win.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be the only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
The chalice is cleaned and then held correctly so the beer comes to life. These things make a Stella Artois just right. Yes. Good to know there is a ritual, so when you come across it, you can enjoy it properly.
Technology?
Ford technology.
Helps me to be a better driver.
My mirror tells me
When someone's in my blind spot.
There's sensors all over my car.
all around. Beep, beep, beep. My car senses other cars.
It automatically slows down.
It's too close, it's like, whoa.
I can use my voice
To turn things on and off.
My car
parallel parks itself.
How did you do that?
My eyes are on the road.
Hands are on the wheel.
That's safe driving.
You know, the stuff that you learn.
When you learn how to drive, you never learn to drive in a car like this.
Smarter cars make the difference. Ford. Drive one.
Is that the pizza?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, but I thought you like.
I know. I just thought maybe we would try.
But I didn't know you wanted to try.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
Really? I didn't know.
Hi.
We're gonna try it.
At Swiss Chalet, we're ready to bring you the taste pizza just can't deliver. But we need you to make the first move.
This is
This is what,
delicious.
yeah.
Swiss Chalet, always so good for so little.
Before I got my Capital One Aspire card, I was buying everything at gas stations just to get bonus miles.
Looking good.
Stuff for special occasions. Oh, wiper blade for you. The holidays. Even parties. Happy birthday! But now, thanks to Aspire, I get 2 reward miles for every dollar on everything I buy.
The new Capital One Aspire card. Earn 2 reward miles for every dollar spent on everything you buy. Visit CapitalOne.ca.
What's in your wallet?
Why are sponge towels so absorbent? It's the Sponge Pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Nova Scotia scores 3. That should make coach Mark Casey happy. Former Brier winner. And our coverage of the Tim Hortons Brier from London, Ontario begins March 5th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That evening at 7 Eastern. On that opening day, we will have a complete Brier preview. We'll run down all the field. As now, for the first time in the game, Prince Edward Island has the last rock, playing the Yellowstones down 3-2. In 2004, he had Bruce Lonis, Rob Harris, and Andrew Gibson on his team that beat Randy Furby in the final. The PEI representative that year was from Charlottetown, and it was Mike Goody. Interestingly enough, now here he's coaching his wife against the former Suzanne Goody, now Birt, of course, who is Mike's sister.
Yeah.
So I'm weaving
Don't
this.
confuse yourself.
I'm weaving this kind of story here.
Very nice.
Either way, they got 3.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you very much.
We'll see if PEI can bounce back. Russ and I were chatting in the break and saying we were confused by the PEI choice of the draw. You didn't take very much ice. You just needed it somewhere in the house where there wasn't a shot to get rid of both of the PEI rocks. Cut down the ice, get into that same fast path, and away it went.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem, was in the fast path. And like you said, they ran out of real estate by going that tight to the side of the rings.
So you have to park that after getting that big break to get ahead by 2. Now have to build up and end yourself with your PEI.
Yeah, right up, guys. Right up. Hard, really hard, really hard. Go, 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 go. Hard carry. Okay.
Let's update you on Northwest Territories Yukon after Saskatchewan got their deuce to take the lead in the second. This is the final stone for Perry Galusha of Yellowknife, Kathy.
Well, and a chance for Kerry to get ahead in this game. This is a draw for 2. On Amber Holland's first one, she jammed her opponent's stone back on her own, and that has led to this deuce opportunity.
Boy, she's got a wide open house here. Put it in the rings, basically. And that's a very nice shot for 2. And Galusha has the lead over the undefeated, the only team remaining undefeated, Amber Holland and Saskatchewan.
Good throw. Okay.
Well, yet again, make the comment, when you are going for your deuce by putting up a corner guard, you have to be oh so careful if you choose to play a hit in the house. Because as soon as that rollout occurs, the opposition has a chance to peel off that guard.
Got to hit it, though.
Okay. Trying to help her out with that one. Didn't throw it the same twice.
And you see that so many times. One's a little narrow, you overcompensate and throw it out the other way. And I think trying to throw it a little too hard.
So Bliss Comstock with the flash of the corner. Robin McPhee now going to try and wrap one around.
Top 12, top 8. Line's good. Yep.
Gotta go for weight.
Yep. Hard.
If this makes it, it'll be dead buried in front of the tee line.
Suzanne Birt out as well to join Bradley and McDougall, taking everything they can out of it. And they'll get it to the top edge of the 8th.
Well, it was a nice throw, but that was great brushing to get that as far as it could go and get it covered.
Big rotation as usual by Robin. It's amazing how many spins goes down the ice, and that will glide a little farther. In this case is a nice idea that it glide a little farther. Well swept. That's dead buried.
Danielle Parsons as we play third stone.
Whoa.
She made the big draw last end to set up the 3. Now looking for the run back.
And she'll drive it by.
To 94. By to 83. I felt.
Well, Scotia gives up 2 with 2 chances to peel there. Missed them both. You have to make those shots.
80 should be good. What? Let's go. Take this.
Not taking a lot of ice here either, and I think it's just a habit. You tend to put the broom in the center line, and I know the Charlottetown Curling Club's about 2.5, 3 feet of curl in most days, and it just makes it tough. You're talking missing the 8-foot here if this curls the way it should.
And I think you have to assess what the opposition brings to the ice. If we're talking about playing Kevin Martin, you're trying to spread the rocks out so far because of the great ability to make the cross the house double. You keep them pretty even in women's play. You're not seeing 8-foot, 10-foot doubles made across the sheet, so you can keep them a little closer together.
9.5. Whoa. Close. Whoa. 9. Whoa.
Love to roll over towards that other rock and get into a situation there's almost a double.
Get up. Okay, good try.
Let's quickly go over to New Brunswick and Ontario, with Ontario leading 2-0. Rachel Holman. And the final stone from New Brunswick skip Andrea Kelly out of the Gage Club in Oromocto. Kathy?
And what a turnabout in this last 2 rocks of this end. Rachel Holman making a double on her first. Andrea missing a wide open hit, and that's why it is now 3 yellow stones that she faces on her final rock.
And she needs full 4 piece of them. button would probably be the best.
Great shot.
And great shot indeed for the single point. We'll tell you that Ontario lead Lisa Weigel has suffered a pinched nerve in her shoulder. She's getting treatment this evening. And so Sherry Madaw has come in to throw the lead stones, but she is handling the house when it comes to Rachel Homan's throws.
Yeah, 9.5, 10.
The brushing, I suspect, is the reason there.
Another inside-out heavy. Shelley Bradley, that's 2 for Shelley. 1 for Suzanne. And I you know, using a stopwatch, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because it will teach you some different paths. But I think they're putting the same number for their splits on every spot in the ice. And that is a much quicker spot, Linda.
Yeah, they've played it now so many times, though. You have to know that. And if you talk about smart side, again, just short of the house, it's even splittable. The rock on the other side's in the 12-foot. If the other team happen to nose it, there's lots of opportunity to get around something on the other side. You can't be 12 feet deep on that. It's just so wrong side. I know Shelley knows it.
Clean. That's clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Whoa, whoa. Good. A little bit blitz. Good, Heather. Nice throw. Nice weight.
Louder. Yeah, nice. Thanks. Just a nose. Yeah. Let's go. Control.
They're calling for the nose here, inside out, with Suzanne's intern being left-handed. You could be aggressive and try to roll over towards that rock that's out of the rings and hide behind the corner guard. Don't want to roll out, mind you, and allow Heather to sink one in around the corner and force you to one.
Just controlling. Just clean. Yep, 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 yep. Hurry! Hurry, 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 hard, 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 hurry, hurry.
Suzanne Birt in her first.
Not sure what happened to that one. They seemed fine upon release.
To see what they say there, might have grabbed a bit.
Did it go in? No, it didn't look too bad.
Indication they're going to try and come down to the corner of that stone just outside at the back there.
That's right. No. Not sure how hard this is going to break off the line here. So, what do you want? A 90 down center? Yeah? Well, and this is where Shelley threw through. Did you get hers to hog to hog? Yeah. Okay. 90?
Boy, there's that much curl
95.
here, huh? From the center line out that far.
A lot of curl and a lot of slide. And I didn't hear the answer when she asked them if they got the split on Shelley's, but you have to pay attention to both yours and the opposition rocks.
Back to sheet A, Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Saskatchewan. Final stone coming up for the so far undefeated Amber Holland, Kathy.
Well, she's got the chance for the Deuce get back ahead on that last stone. It was a wide open stone on the other side of the sheet that Carrie Galusha rolled. She can see about 3/4 of this, though, Vic.
As we watch Heather Smith-Dacey come to the top edge of the 12. And there's the 2 for Saskatchewan, and they'll retake the lead through 4. Good brush to hold the line enough to roll out the shooter. And so PEI will get the blank they were looking for. They'll hold the last rock when we come back for 5.
are sponge towels so absorbent? It's the Sponge Pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover, AMJ Campbell, has been moving households and offices locally and internationally since 1934. As the most trusted movers in Canada, AMJ Campbell is your source for your home, office, or do-it-yourself move. At AMJ Campbell, we treat your possessions like they're our own. AMJ Campbell is the only moving company that you can pay on your Sears card to earn Sears Club points. Thinking of moving? Call AMJ Campbell.
Putt for a chance to win $100,000 in the White Ice Challenge. Brought to you by Odyssey Golf. Win a trip to the Tim Hortons Briar in London and putt on the curling ice during the semifinal for all the money. Go to whiteicechallenge.curling.ca to enter.
The goal of the program is for the kids to have fun curling. By taking the program into the schools, we're reaching a lot of communities that have no access to curling, that have never seen the sport before. So we're hoping to reach a whole new audience base and of course youth as well. I mean, for the future of the sport, we've got to get kids involved. I think you can hear and see by the screaming and yelling that they're really enjoying it. So I mean, we want them to think of curling as fun when they do get an opportunity to get out on the ice and play.
Up here in the great white north, the world thinks we just like to canoe or run around in our snowshoes. While that all may be true for the last quarter century, every spring here's what we Canucks really love to do. Roll up the rim.
It's the 25th anniversary of Roll Up the Rim. You have a 1 in 6 chance to win a great prize instantly or even win one a 40 Toyota Matrix.
For 25 years, this is how we roll.
The Kegs Winter Grill menu is now on, with even more delicious steaks than ever, like our 20-ounce T-bone. So come in and try something new, only until March 6th.
Tons of caramel, loads of fudge, and piles of peanuts, all covered in a chocolatey coating. O. Henry, the colossal combination.
Insurance brokers don't work for an insurance company or sell insurance. They choose the best insurance with you, taking care of everything so you can sleep easy. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Why are sponge towels so absorbent? It's the Sponge Pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Let's continue with our updates on this Tuesday night, Draw 11, and Kathy will go over to Alberta, Manitoba, and a chance here for Shannon Clyburn.
Well, it's not much of a chance. It's a huge force by Manitoba. For Shannon needs really to make a tricky little shot. Needs to get near to the guard and tap the Manitoba stone back. She's lying 2 right now is Manitoba.
Clyburn with a record of 3-3. Manitoba at 1-5. And she'll push it far enough. And that stone, have a look. Yes, it is. Alberta gets their single. They're even at 2-4. Now coming up tomorrow, Kathy will be back with Brian Mudrick, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. For Jennifer Jones, who is idle tonight, she had a great day, winning 2 in huge scores, 10-2, 10-4 against Rachel Holman of Ontario. Holman losing her first this afternoon to Saskatchewan, and she's currently on the ice and leading New Brunswick. So that's tomorrow morning. That'll be Draw 12, Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So the blank in 4 means that Nova Scotia continues to lead 3-2. Prince Edward Island will have the last rock, playing the Yellowstones here in 5.
Well, it's been a game that's a little hard to explain because there have been a lot of mistakes. And then you look at this end and the fact that PEI, after having such a good chance to get a deuce last end with mistakes, now doesn't make a go of it. They're just playing the hits.
10. Okay.
Susan definitely likes to default to the hit. We watched it Suzanne, I should say, in the 10th end here, needing 2 this morning. First rock rolls into the ring, she decides to hit it instead of throwing a corner guard, and it's just her style. Maybe they want to go even ends. Maybe they want to run out the odd end here and score in 6.
Good.
Maybe they're trying to keep their percentages up.
Okay, well, as soon as the rock is out of the 4-foot, she goes for the corner. But remember, at this stage of the end, that corner can be peeled.
And it will be.
Gotta go long. Yay. Hide. Get it over. Hide. Good sweep. That's good. What'd you have? What? What'd you have?
This is Bliss Comstock throwing the second stones for Nova Scotia.
Clean. That was a really nice throw, Bliss.
Starts off flat foot, goes over the top a little bit, up on the toe. Ella Kevin Martin a little bit, and well played.
Give you a little bit more.
Now, that's the only thing about waiting. Whether you wait during an end or wait for another end, there's only so many opportunities that come. If you're concerned about rocks in the 4-foot, so many times you're going to get a chance to put up the corner at the right moment.
Oh, take a look.
Get concerned when teams at this stage of the game, we're only in the 5th end, have plans other than to try and get their deuce back. That was a big mistake to give up the 3 by Suzanne Birt. At some point, you're going to have to try and make a go of it.
Same throw. Make sure you turn your body towards that wide broom. It's pretty easy to slide right down the center line. The hack aims down the center. The center line's there. Make sure the shoulders are square to the target.
Clean. Whoa. You're okay. Whoa. Clean. Okay. Good. Control.
So back to the hits for Suzanne.
A ton of ice in this intern. We saw in the 3-under a couple of overcurls, one by Suzanne, one by Heather. Must be quite a bit of movement inside out.
Just clean. Whoa. It's good. It's probably normal. Got. 10. Okay.
Heather Smith-Dacey very comfortable in just playing this hand out, going to the break with the lead.
Clean. Just clean. Whoa. Get up a little more. Okay, let's wait. Really nice weight.
Okay.
That way?
Yeah, that way.
Fast. 85.
90?
With that rollout, they'll at least get a chance to get a look at the draw in this spot and see if they can lock in the weight for the rest of the game.
Yeah, when you've missed one, you'd love to have the exact same shot, especially with no pressure on this one, just to get the real feel for this particular spot.
Top 8. Just clean. Clean. Have a look. Have a look.
And it's quick. You can tell by the sweeping. They yelled top 8.
Nice, Shelly.
That one timed at 15 seconds hog to hog, and the other spots of the ice were closer to 14 and a half.
It's fast in that spot. What did they get? Well, it's calling 90 is what they were telling me. Okay, 10. Okay.
Heather Smith-Dacey. Skip Stones here in 5. 3-2. She leads Nova Scotia ahead of Prince Edward Island.
Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Just clean. Yep. Okay. Nice throw, Heather. No matter where it goes. All right. Game that we've had. It sure is, I know.
You know,
No
we've
rocks
talked
in the way.
before, and that's not meant to be disrespectful to either of these teams. But, you know, you look at PEI and how they played last night in front of the charged up crowd here against Team Canada. And then earlier today, having played very well against Alberta and stealing it with 2 in 11. There is this adage that you play down to a level of your opponent. And that's not to suggest that Nova Scotia isn't playing well or PEI. But when you get fired up and you're playing the better teams, you may do things that might cause some excitement for your own team. You know where I'm going with this? Are we seeing this kind of thing here? We've got 2 teams that really don't want to mix it up right now.
Well, I think what we've seen from the 2 teams is a lot of mistakes, and maybe when they were playing in those big games and had that excitement going, Vic, maybe that was great shot making that they felt, and that made them more confident to put rocks in play. Right now, these are big mistakes. Throwing a rock through the rings for a skip is a huge mistake. And so I see a very tentative look in the face and a very tentative plan now for PEI. And Heather Smith-Dacey's happy to wait because she's thinking, I got out of the last 10, or it looked like I was giving up a deuce. I'll go with them and just keep it open.
I wonder if there is, though, this little mental letdown if you're Suzanne, Birt, and PEI. You're coming off these 2 big games, 2 of the powerhouse teams, favored teams here in Team Canada and Alberta. You've beaten them both, and now you just sort of take this mental deep breath and sort of let down.
Yeah, because I think the crowd is very responsible for it. They were jacked right up for that Canada game, and then the finish of the Alberta game was obviously so close, and their last one's on the ice, and you get that adrenaline, the juice is flowing, and I don't think they're quite as vocal this game so far, whether it's the misses or the rocks, lack of rocks in play, but that could definitely throw you off or spur you on, whichever way you take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, PEI here, last stone, wide open house, throw it through, get the blank. They've really done nothing so far to get the crowd into it. And in doing that, they haven't maybe been able to fire up themselves. We've played 5. Nova Scotia leads it 3-2. When we come back, we'll have the week's report, as well as talk with Heather Smith-Dacey.
The 2011 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissue. Stylish designs for any room.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Sports Center Newsroom. I'm Darren Atishan. We're going to get you back to the Scotties in just a moment or 2. Let us bring you up to date in some of the action going on throughout the world of sports. Pretty busy day, especially in the National Hockey League. Leafs and Islanders, first period. Nikolai Kulemin's going to drop it for Clark MacArthur. He's going to rip one top shelf on Al Montoya. That's his 18th. Leafs lead at 1-0. Flyers, Coyotes, first period. Matt Carl, wrister from the point. It's deflected in front by Billy Lano. That's his 14th. That's going to make it 1-0 Philly. On to the Rangers and the Hurricanes. First period, Sean Avery puts it across the crease for Brandon Prust. Krusty the Clown tucks in his 9th of the season. He beats Cam Ward. That game's tied at 1. Raptors, Bobcats, DeMar DeRozan, who earlier today criticized the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, said he won't participate unless props are eliminated. He would get the layup there. The Raptors getting the business. More Scotties coming up in seconds.
Nothing feels like cashmere.
This reminds me of your pool, sir.
Yeah, if I only had one statue. I'll have that one, lightly seared.
Garçon!
I think I'm gonna get this one.
I don't think this is for sale.
What?
He looks a little cold.
No, he's fine.
My turn.
Yeah.
With kids in the house, you don't just have furniture. You have a trampoline, a chew toy trap. Your furniture can't just look great. It has to hold up. And you know who gets that? Lazy Boy. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Before I got my Capital One Aspire card, I was buying everything at the grocery store just to get bonus miles. Stuff for the kids, gifts. It's a 2009. Follow through! Even sporting goods. But now, thanks to Aspire, I get 2 reward miles for every dollar on everything I buy.
The new Capital One Aspire card. Earn 2 reward miles for every dollar spent on everything you buy. Visit CapitalOne.ca.
What's in your wallet?
The 2011 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Tim Hortons' new breakfast wraps. By Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. And by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
To be honest, it's been wide open. We've seen our fair share of mistakes. Look at that, 3 blank ends in 5. Nova Scotia leads it 3-2. Heather Smith-Dacey is with Kathy.
Heather, we've had a chance to talk to Colleen this game on the telephone, and with her illness, it put you into the spotlight as a skip. What's been the biggest challenge?
I think just getting comfortable in the role. I mean, it's very different. You know, it's just you have a different job description, you know, really when you're out here with the team. So, you know, just learning to be good in all the new roles that I have. I think it's just, you know, get a little bit better every game, a little more comfortable.
Now, in terms of your opponent right now, she's not seeming to want to mix it up. What's your comfort with that?
Hey, I'm fine as far as the scoreboard's concerned. You know, Danielle said, well, we should, you know, really try and do something next time. I said, I'm not going to start, you know, so let her do it. So, you know, I'm fine at one of these ends. We're going to see some Roxon play. This is the cleanest game we've had by far. So,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You probably are aware there's been a lot of discussion about the brushes, in particular the synthetic brushes, new brushes, and it's the subject of tonight's Week's Report.
You know, Vic, a lot of the research and development that was done ahead of the Olympics to give all the Canadian teams the benefit of reaching the podium is now transferring down into the elite players who are playing the game today. And one of those studies was done by Dr. Tom Jenkin of the University of Western Ontario. He did some studies into sweeping, and what he found was that when players sweep, they create a lot of heat, but that heat seems to fly off in all directions. So he created a new broom head called the Balance Plus Equalizer broom head, with putting a strip of insulation in the head that forces a lot more of the heat back down into the ice. The result of that is, of course, more effective sweeping. Now, there are 7 teams here in the Scotties that are using the broom heads, and they find, and they will attest, that the rocks go a lot further and they keep them a lot straighter by using these heads. The biggest benefit, however, might be for the regular curlers, the guys out there in the clubs who are curling every night and every week, because it's the average sweeper who will gain the most benefit of this. So, Vic, I've ordered you and I one so we can use them when we take on Russ and Linda in that big doubles game.
Yeah, I probably need more than just some brush heads.
Bring your wallet.
Yeah, thank you. Nova Scotia leads by 1.
Here we go for the day. On the road again. We can dream away.
The comfort of Purex. The feeling of home. It's softness they'll notice with cashmere softness.
Me and you and me. No matter how they toss the dice, it has to be. The only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
This is Eric. Eric wants to get rid of his stuff. No problem, Eric. You can get rid of everything immediately on Kijiji for free. Kijiji.ca. Free local classifieds.
The Kegs Winter Grill menu is now on, with even more delicious steaks than ever, like our 20-ounce T-bone. So come in and try something new, only until March 6th.
Canadians have no problem being out in the cold. No self-respecting Canadian says, let's wait for a warmer day. Here, braving the cold is a national sport. You and your clothes embrace cold weather. Why not wash them in cold water? Tide does better at getting stains out in cold water than the other guy. And washing in cold can save you 70% of the energy in each load. Cold Canadian temperatures? Bring them on. Tide.
My dear dealer, we've had some good times, haven't we? That first test drive? We'll always have that. But I need a change, an oil change. And you're just too clingy. So I found someone easier. He doesn't demand an appointment for warranty-approved service. His name? Mr. Lube. Please, no first names. Let's be mature about this. P.S. I only ever liked you for your car.
Ready for a change?
At Sharp, we thought a TV so sleek and stylish deserved a world's first. A fourth color, yellow. We added yellow to the standard RGB color system for colors never before seen on TV. Introducing Quatron from Sharp.
Nothing feels like cashmere.
Speed Weekend on TSN2. Strap in. NASCAR action heats up in the desert. Saturday. NASCAR Nationwide Series kicks things off. Basha Supermarket 200 from Phoenix International Raceway. Then, Sunday afternoon. Sprint Cup Series. Subway Fresh Fit 500. Speed Weekend. Starts Saturday at 5 on TSN2.
Before we pick up play here in the 6th, let's check the numbers after 5.
Well, it's clear why Nova Scotia is happy after the mistake in giving up the points to PEI. They got the 3 back, and the numbers certainly favor PEI. 83% on that bottom line. The hits are more superior, and of course, that's why Nova Scotia doesn't mind this just going along for a while, because they want to get things under their belt and make sure that they're ready for the next 5.
The numbers after 5 are brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And yes, we'll keep our eye, of course, on our featured game. Our camera's eyes on Nova Scotia leading 3-2 over Prince Edward Island. We've had back-to-back blanks, and so here in 6, once again, it will be PEI with the last rock, the Hammer, playing the Yellowstones. But first, look at all the rocks in play again. In a 2-2 tie, they're still playing the 5th, Kathy Gauthier.
Well, they are, and it was a freeze by Kathy O, and the red rock that they are trying to make a play against was the one just thrown by Shannon Kleibrink. They've spent a lot of time looking at the yellow stone at the back of the 4 and the red stone at the top to try to determine who is second. So what Kathy's playing is a hack weight, an easy weight shot, trying to get to the inside, and maybe it's for 2.
Yeah, at the moment, though, you would say that it is Alberta sitting the 1. That's the one on the 4-foot tee line as we look at it. Trying to maybe grab just a little bit of that, push it back, and then sit. So they've got one for sure. Now, as you suggest, you look at those 2 stones around the edge of the 4-foot and it looks like they will put the measuring stick to that. One for sure for Manitoba. We will update the measurement as soon as they've decided.
Really tight. Where? Tight. Real tight. Whoa. Yeah, I think it works somewhere. Really tight. Might be in. Stop. Stop.
But once you have the chance, you have to make these shots. And another one where it's probably not enough ice and certainly too much weight. And that has been a huge struggle for PEI. We saw in the numbers after 5, PEI superior with their hits. But the draws were even, and there has been a lot of nice shots, but a lot of big mistakes, almost zeros on that draw side.
Not firm. Yep. Hard. Yep.
Real good chance to make the double here.
Quick. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Nice bliss. Just a little wide. Yeah. No, your weight was good. Yep. Okay.
It's a trend with Suzanne, isn't it? She doesn't want anything in that 4-foot area, then she throws the corner. To Nova Scotia Rock is in the ring.
Halfway. I got 4. Clean it.
Linda, you heard Heather Smith-Dacey talking to Kathy and saying,
whoa.
why should I? Why should I be the aggressive one? I'm content to just lay back here. I'm leading 3-2. Let her make the move. You agree with that?
Well, I understand Heather Smith-Dacey's point completely. As I said, they were the ones making mistakes, and all of a sudden they got the big break and are leading by 1. So at the moment, they don't mind burning off a few ends. At some point, they would like to force PEI and get the hammer back, but that's not until the conclusion of the game, so there's lots of ends to play yet.
Yep. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's good. Okay.
So they've had the measurement
Nice throws, Bliss.
over on sheet D, and it's just the single point for Manitoba. And they now take the 3-2 lead over Alberta. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.
That's less. Yeah, that's less. Long. Take a look. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Take a look. Just clean. Just clean. It's good. Nice weight. Shot.
In that 5th end break, we had Bob Weeks talking about the new brushes, and I guess just a little comment for all of those that do curl, that we talk about all kinds of new equipment, and it's fun to look at that. But if you're going to a curling club, you're going to see a lot of equipment and a lot of it older. So the first thing I think is just to mention that the curlers here, whether they use the new technology or not, are very careful with the repair of their brushes. They make sure that they're clean. If you use synthetic, it has to be dry. So the fabric they're looking at nowadays, they try to make sure that that happens. You don't want to stencil on the underside of the brush on the fabric, because that will prevent the foam from getting down into the ice properly. And you do want the optimum amount of foam underneath that fabric so that you get down into the pebble. So I think whether you use these new brushes or not, a lot of people aren't careful enough with the brushes they have.
No kidding. It's like your golf clubs. Once they're dirty, you lose all the spin on the golf ball, and they have to be newer or certainly clean. And you see all kinds when you go to the club some nights. A lot of it.
I'd like to see the mud flying off the wedge. That's when the mud goes farther than the ball.
Yes, yeah, it's true.
10.
True.
But I tell you, a good friend of mine loves the new brush, and as Bob mentioned, for really the club curler, there is some benefit to it. Some of the elite men's teams are saying that may be too much, but it does appear that it might just allow these brushers to carry the stone that little bit more. It just helps with the breaking down of the pebble and allows them to carry the stone.
The other comment I'm hearing is it's a little bit less abrasive, so there's a little less friction on the body, and it's a little bit easier to sweep a big long event like this also. So that's the best of both worlds. I talked to Scott Taylor, who sells them for Balance Plus, who has the patent, and that's exactly the feedback he's getting. Is a little easier in the body, a little more effective, and that's a win-win.
I wonder though, Linda, as we play up and down the sheet here in 6, I wonder if there's going to come a point in time where, and we mentioned golf, where the United States Golf Association or the RCGA or whomever it is, they govern the clubs that professionals can use. I wonder if there's going to come a point where the Canadian Curling Association or the Royal Caledonian will have to actually legislate the kind of equipment.
It's interesting because there is very little about equipment in the rule book and what you have to do. You do have to ensure that your equipment does not damage the ice, whether it's your slider or your brush or whatever it is that is in contact with the ice. So there is that small piece of a regulation regarding equipment, but really it's pretty wide open in the sport.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And maybe what they'll have to do is, before it being something, you know, as the professor did, come up with this, he has to present it to whatever governing association you decide, whether he does it at the Canadian level or at the world level, but it has to be approved first before being brought into play.
Yeah, I think so, because you know, we've just about obsoleted some golf courses with the technology. The drivers are longer and lighter and bigger, and the golf ball's much better, and they're trying to decide if this is on the rubber or not.
Okay.
So it's that little bit away from the bumper, and we'll get a look here as it comes over and across, and we'll see indeed, does it touch? No, it just spins away.
It's tough with the foam because there's no noise, and you can't, it doesn't, like when it was wooden, they really hopped off of there.
Yes.
Now they can kind of just graze it and not make any difference to it.
To get to T-line, no, like without sweeping, that's T-line lead.
Now they're throwing these inside-outers to the sweepers. They've learned their lesson after 3 breezes right through the rings earlier in the game. That could cost PI. They're now figuring that spot out, and that's good.
Yep. Yep, make sure it's on.
That's
there.
good.
Okay, that's good. We'll leave it then. Nice shot, Sue. Nice weight.
What was that?
90.
We're trying to put it in a place where there's a potential for a jam, and even a potential that if the person throwing, Heather Smith-Dacey, is so concerned about the jam, she might overcurl, roll out, and it'll be just a throw-through blank.
So we need about a 90 out the other way.
Still talking about the weight on either side of the sheet.
The weight was okay, hey?
Yep, that was nice.
Final stone for Nova Scotia here in 6. Heather Smith-Dacey.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, Bliss, roll it to the middle. Roll it to the middle. Yep. Hard.
Avoids the jam and does
Great
roll
shot,
it to the
Heather.
middle, so it'll be a little extra work for
Beauty.
Prince Edward Island and Suzanne Birt to get the blank.
It's a good point, Vic. They've got to roll that much farther, and you obviously hit half a rock, doesn't matter, but if you happen to hit a little thick, you've got a lot more real estate to cover to get it out of the rings.
We just let the fans fall asleep.
So Heather's done her job and is very happy with the way things are going. Pressure now back on Suzanne to retain the hammer.
Looking for the blank here in 6. Oh, no, she won't. Hanging around the edge of the 8 for a single point to tie it at 3.
are sponge towels so absorbent? It's the Sponge Pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Insurance brokers don't work for an insurance company or sell insurance. They choose your insurance with you and are there to help in the event of a claim, so you can sleep easy. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
250 meters below us is our brackish water. The brackish water is water very high in salt, so high in fact that it can't be used for anything else. We use that instead of fresh water to produce our oil. The benefit of that is we don't need to collect any water from the lakes, from the rivers. I want to work with a process that has as little impact on my environment and my family's environment. Using no fresh water at the Jackfish facility achieves that.
The Kegs Winter Grill menu is now on, with even more delicious steaks than ever, like our 20-ounce T-bone. So come in and try something new, only until March 6th.
For those who see the world as their playground, you need more than an ordinary diaper. It's why there's Pampers Cruisers. Its breakthrough super absorbency makes it 2 times drier, yet with less bulk to help you move freely. It's the gear to play to the max. Pampers Cruisers, now with bonus diapers in every box.
These aren't your typical FBI profilers.
We work better off the grid. I understand clandestine, but this is really off the grid.
No expensive suits and no fancy offices.
I would just like to do a good job, earn my place on this team.
And when they hunt down a killer,
you won't be able to handle a strong, opinionated one.
I'd be delighted.
There's nowhere to hide.
Playing chess. We're 3 moves ahead.
An all-new Criminal Minds Suspect Behavior. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
This is the brand new 2011 Ford Edge SEL. The grand prize for the winner of this year's Ford Hot Shots. And the final, a battle of teammates. Team Canada's Jennifer Jones and her third, Caitlin Laws. And it was the experience of Jones that pays off in the final as the defending Scotties champion added Hot Shots champion to her resume. And what a way to start her week with a 2-year lease on a brand new Ford Edge. And you can be a winner too. Log on to FordHotShots.curling.ca and give it a try. And just like Jennifer Jones, you too could be driving away in a brand new Ford Edge. Here at the Charlottetown Civic Center on a Tuesday night as we wrap up day 4 of round robin play, and we are tied 3-3. Prince Edward Island missing the opportunity for the blank, and so now Nova Scotia will have the last rock here in 7 playing the Red Stones, but it feels like, I mean, this maritime battle, I mean, I was expecting some kind of really maritime kitchen party, and the invitations went out and then nobody showed up. It's just, you know, Nova Scotia, the kitchen parties, and we're going to have a rock and roll time, and we just haven't had any of that. No energy at all.
What? 4? Oh, top 4.
We're about to see some rocks in play. It would have been a little bit different. Leslie McDougall curling so well for PEI. We saw 98%, but the guard went into the ring, so we've seen a couple of hits already. And now we're going to see a comer out.
I'd love to see that change again. You know, like you and I played in the Monka 100 where they called it the Howard Rule at the time. We just invented it out of necessity, and the game was so boring, and we evolved to a free guard zone. But that very first rock or second rock, or third rock for that matter, if it's in the rings, you can hit them now. We basically had no free guard zone when it was the Moncton story, and no matter where the rocks were, in the rings or in front of the rings, they could be moved but not removed, and that would allow a little more rocks and play, a little more thought process, I think, early in the end at least.
You're talking first 4 stones, right?
Yep, same thing.
Couldn't hit with leads anywhere.
Yeah, a simple rule too. Just could not hit. Remove out of play your opponent's rock. You couldn't remove your own actually for that spiel, which is also another option. And it just creates one of those situations. The one thing I hate to see right now is the score's tied coming home, and that leads first rock slides a foot too far, and it's bang, 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 and it's fairly anticlimactic.
But that's what the lead is supposed to do for us. The lead is supposed to get the stone in the free guard.
Well, they're very true, and they shouldn't be missing those type of shots when there's that much room between the hog line and the rings, but it happens. And
look at all the debate, pardon the interruption, but look at the debate that went on just to move first to 3 rock rule in Canada, then eventually 4 rock. Do you think, Linda, they would ever consider a Moncton rule?
I don't think in the near future. I think it actually applies less near the conclusion of the game, especially without hammer, because without hammer you get the 2 guard options. But definitely in the beginning parts of the game where people are unwilling to make a go of it, it certainly would dramatically change the game.
And there'd still be lots of pressure on the lead. You throw one on the button, I throw one off to the side in the rings. Now what do? Do you freeze? Do you guard? Do you tap it back? There'd be a lot even tougher shots, I think, for the front end. You still use the free guard zone if you want.
I guess the one thing about the rule is it is there, and what we're seeing in this game is teams unwilling to use it.
Yes.
And I guess that's one thing you can't legislate against, even with any rule change. They could even throw a rock through, I suppose, if they're trying to keep it clean.
And we as television would love to see a few more rocks in play, but if you can win by hitting and running up and down the sheet, more power to you, because somebody's going to win this game, and that's their style, and that's what, in the case of Nova Scotia, for instance, they have control of the game, so there's no reason to have to gamble.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa, right off. Whoa, right off. Right off.
Just right in the line here. The game, it gets a little straighter as the game goes along.
It's really ran. Okay, it was a pretty good throw.
Heard Heather say it really ran, and you have to be careful of that. That's the other thing, when there aren't rocks in play, it's easy to go into neutral as a skip and kind of throw the broom in the same spot, and the game starts, the ice starts to tighten up, straighten a little more. You have to be careful.
Yep.
A chance for PEI to tuck in behind, and normally you don't like to do this, but they would love to get that hammer back. So this is the opportunity to do just that, to try and force Nova Scotia to make a couple of good shots and maybe only get the single point. And when you look at the lineup and the numbers after 5, this is a good moment to do it. Shelley Bradley is out curling her counterpart on the Nova Scotia team, so go for it now.
Line. Yep. Where? Top 12, puppy. Yeah, line. Whoa.
It's going to wreck, so let's let it curl and be able to tap that top one in. Oh.
Little split to sit 2.
Unfortunately, they're very close together for Shelley. She would have liked to get by, and it didn't have enough weight once she made the tap to roll far enough away.
Still, this double has to be made, or PI will split the rings.
Nice. Yep. Really hard. Okay.
And gets them both, and then backs up the shooter to sit and cover the edge of the 12-foot.
Card just rolled far enough. They could try to sneak a corner around that and catch the edge of the 12. They elected to go away from it this time.
89.
With Shelley Bradley.
Top house. Oh, then. Yep, yep.
Heather would love to blank this end, have Hammer coming home in 8. You then have, in theory, 2 hammers to 1. Hammer in 8, hammer in 10.
Quickly over to sheet D, and a chance, Kathy, Alberta, Shannon Clybrink for 2.
It is indeed a chance for Alberta to finish this end off. One miscue by Manitoba, Leslie Wilson, the second, and that has been a promotion back and forth of rocks. This is a hit for 2 and the lead.
There it is, 4-2 Alberta, and Shannon Clybrink out of the Calgary Winter Club, or 4-3, pardon me. Suzanne Birt and her first skip stones here in the 7th.
Yep, 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 yep. Hurry! Yeah. Okay, that's good.
I think we would have liked to roll a little bit away from that spot. A couple of exchanges and the rock would be out.
Half 10.
No, hey. They roll. What? Did it roll?
I know it's some bags, so she knows that she won't be in the rings.
Yep. Clean, 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 clean.
Good square shoulders. I like the broom position. Has her broom hand about the same height as a throwing hand, which keeps your shoulders square. Perfect spot, you know. I think PI's going to have to roll here.
Nice throw. Yeah.
Trying to roll some. Yeah.
Well, Heather's always had a wonderful delivery. I love the low wrist. I love the throwing arm a little bit bent. Some of the no-lift deliveries, in my opinion, you learn at such a young age. The rock's so heavy, you tend to straighten your arm out, a stiff arm, to kind of get the thing moving. And there's a lot of bad habits out there with a very straight throwing arm. You're overextending, and it's easy to dump the in-turn in or the out-turn wide. Heather had good control of the rock there.
Control. Clean. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
So they didn't get the roll in their first, and as I mentioned, you don't want to just nose this. It'll be a blank throw through. So they're trying to get a little roll on this one, and too much.
Just try.
Okay. Normal.
So Heather Smith-Dacey in Nova Scotia will just throw it through in a 3-3 tie.
All right.
Taking the hammer to 8. This will be our 4th blank end in a wide open game. Nova Scotia in PEI on this Tuesday night here in Charlottetown.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be the only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
Final stone. He needs the button. Kevin Cooey. Now it's Carter Rycroft on the right. Nolan Thiessen. Who's got the button? Have they got the button? Alberta's got the button, and the
G2 is all Gatorade. All the swagger, all the inspiration, all the glory, all the G. Only 20 calories. G2 for more athletes.
The Kegs Winter Grill menu is now on, with even more delicious steaks than ever, like our 20-ounce T-bone. So come in and try something new, only until March 6th.
Here we go for the day. On the road again. We can dream away.
The comfort of Purex, the feeling of home. It's softness they'll notice with cashmere softness.
Hello, ladies. Where can you go when your man smells like me? Close your eyes and I'll show you. Do you feel it? The sand between your toe tips? I do. Surprise! You're on a mountain peak. Why, little sweet shalalas you love to hear. Firework colors turn our world upside down. I hope you like water, because we're neck deep in the sweet waters of friendship and trust. You see, when your man smells like the fresh scents of Old Spice, you can go anywhere. Unless, of course, you prefer to stay in.
Putt for a chance to win $100,000 in the White Ice Challenge. Brought to you by Odyssey Golf. Win a trip to the Tim Hortons Briar in London and putt on the curling ice during the semifinal for all the money. Go to whiteicechallenge.curling.ca to enter.
Team Canada celebrate a third straight Canadian women's curling title.
We had a ton of success together, but our team just couldn't continue the way it was, and we needed to change things up. And we met as a team, and obviously it was a difficult situation.
You know, it was hard for me to put a team together because all the teams were already set at the time.
We met with her immediately following the last major competition of our season.
It was really late in the year, and I was really surprised when it did happen. There was no warning.
And it is the most talked about game the minute Kathy Overton-Clapham won Manitoba. Her rematch, a rematch with her former teammate, Jennifer Jones, and it happens tomorrow night, Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern Time. It hasn't been the best Scotties so far for Manitoba. Jones among the leaders currently at 5-2. Here on a Tuesday night, another blank in 7. We're tied at 3. Nova Scotia with the last rock playing the Red Stones here in 8. And centerline guard up from PEI, and around comes Nova Scotia to sit top 8 or top 12. Pardon me.
Yeah, great come around there, and it's game on now. Suzanne would love to steal a point in the critical 8th end here, and Heather's quite prepared to score her deuce.
Made it, come on. Yep. Go. Okay.
Good shot. Very nice shot. One little thing, I noticed a few of the skips do come out and help brush, and you really shouldn't. Those at home or watching, it doesn't help for the brushing. The third brush in there unless the other two drop out and you get right next to the rock, and you lose someone watching the line. And if that one had a little more speed, they might have rolled more than frozen. So you have to be careful.
And now you've got the overlap, so a great opportunity here for Nova Scotia and lead Terry Lake.
Yeah, hard line. Hard line.
Got to go a little wider here to get around that yellow one.
Back 8.
Okay.
Back 12.
Then.
Chip would be good.
It's got a lot of weight.
I think
Looking for a rub.
That's right through the rings if it doesn't rub.
Okay, here.
And right through it goes.
Draw to the button. What? Draw to the button.
We talk about opportunities. When you get a mistake from the opposition, you have to jump on it. As a team, if you're not sure of the way, you have to communicate, talk about it, figure out a way to get this into the top 8, top 4.
Curling early here.
Robin McPhee.
Yep, hard. Yep.
And she's going to come up light too.
Okay.
Let's just compare the numbers, the statistics between the second women.
Well, I talked about Robin McPhee, an all-star in 2003. Her numbers are good, not quite as good as we might have expected, but at the moment a big edge over Bliss Comstock of Nova Scotia. And this pivotal position after getting the guard set up will be very important in these last few ends.
The player comparisons brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association.
Gotta go.
Yep. Keep it
hard,
going.
guys.
Keep it
really
going,
hard. Line's good. Come on. Line's great. Go, 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 go. Go. Hard.
Boy, this is unbelievable.
So often happens though, Vic. You know, you hit for an hour, and it's tough to find the not that you can't find draw weight. You remember what draw weight was, but draw weight changes. Gets a little slower down the center. We're in the 8th end here. 2 practices. You go to a little wider, it's quick.
Wow, look at that over on sheet A. All that yellow, like grains of wheat for Saskatchewan, Kathy.
Well, waxing poetically you are. For Saskatchewan, a chance here. What she's elected to do is try to play the split, Vic, for 5. Carrie Galusha's final draw just coming up light.
Amber Holland. Wow, look at that. Oh, goodness, look at that. As Heather Kalinchuk and Tammy Schneider nearly get tied up, dancing around the 4-foot. Now they do measure. And it is yellow, and that indeed is 5. And a 9-4 lead for Saskatchewan and Amber Holland.
Another thing our sheet is battling with right from the beginning end. Remember, we said the 2 halves of the sheet had different weights. We're now trying to use that light rock and try and spill the other one out. Got the red one out. And just leave the one at the top 12.
Would love to hit that little thinner with the amount of weight they threw. They had to hit it very thin and just over curled a bit and tapped out their own, but still job done with 1 dead buried.
Hit and roll in. Yeah, maybe.
Nice angle here for New
Even if
Brunswick,
you don't.
or for sorry, Nova Scotia. Half a rock, hack weight.
Good 10.
Okay.
Heather could draw around everything.
It's nice. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Hard. Yep. Hard. Quick. Really hard. Whoa.
Liz
Really
Comstock.
hard. Go, 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 go,
By.
go.
And now they'll angle it back. Raised rock will sit and be shot stone back edge of the 8.
That's important at shot rock. If it wasn't, you might see Prince Edward Island apply some pressure with the out-turn come around. They almost have to hit it now this late in the game.
So not a bad setup now for Nova Scotia. They lost the Yellowstone along the PEI top 12. The red one was left behind, the shooter of the last shot, which can be used. And once this is hit, the rocks will just be in the 12-foot and the 8-foot. So a lot of opportunities will be available to Heather Smith-Dacey.
Yes! Yes! Clean! Whoa, clean! Whoa! Clean! Just clean. Throw. Good show. Okay.
Different styles here. I think if this was Ontario, you might see them play the come around, and with the big curl, you make it pretty easy to make a come around, and you've got a tough shot for Prince Edward Island. But a little bit more defensive Nova Scotia team. They're going to try to do it by hitting and rolling.
Well, it would be an automatic draw in my book. Now, the only thing may be Daniel Parsons, 85% on hits, 58% on draws coming into this game.
I blame it on the coach. He's from Saskatchewan originally, and they used to hit a lot in the old days.
Okay. Now, once you roll out,
Yep.
hand the opportunity right back to the opposition. Nova Scotia had a bit of control, and you're trying to give it back by making that rollout.
We talk about it all the time, throw the appropriate weight. You can't roll out if you're throwing draw weight.
That's true.
On the straight ice conditions, it's not a bad call to hit it because it's easier to hit, A. B, you can't play the come around as easily, but you just lob one out here with 4 feet of ice, get by the guard by a foot, and it'll sink right in there.
Shelley Bradley trying to do just that.
Any question in this game is finding the weight. That has been very elusive for these players.
Not early yet. Back 8.
Go then, go. Back 4. Coming.
Yep. Go. Hard. Okay, good.
A little bit deeper than they'd like, but there's sure no problem burying, Linda. It's just getting that speed control down.
Pretty good, Shelly. 95.
Does close the scoring area down a little bit.
Also, with the 2 rocks in the rings, it's en route to a force if the shots by PEI are made well. Nova Scotia will try and get in there and try and set up a deuce by trying to keep it in front of the tee line.
Yeah, once you know you're forced, in Nova Scotia's case, you might as well be forced to 2.
That's right. That would be a good plan.
Gotta go.
Hey, got room?
Top 4. Room.
Gotta go, turn big.
3.
Room.
Make it good.
Whoa.
Okay, go now. Hard. Come on, you want shot. Go. Hard. You need a really good piece of the floor. Go. Okay.
That was a brushing error.
Shot stone still is a PEI, back edge of the 4. As back we go to Alberta and Manitoba. And Alberta sitting 2, Kathy, and I think I've seen this before. This is another tough draw facing Kathy Overton-Clapham.
It's a very tough draw. On her last one, she came through that hole and picked out one of the Alberta stones, but Shannon Kleibrink put it back. She's looking to throw back 4-weight, Vic, and tap one of the stones back, hoping to stick around in the 4-foot.
Come through the hole. Got to get off that red stone out in front. Still on it. Break quickly. Break. Oh, it just did. Now back. Little rub, little roll, little sit, and that'll be the one, the tying point.
Although she has a very poor record, Kathy Overton-Clapham has had some highlight reel shots.
All the shots that are makeable, she makes. Really, she's tried a few that weren't makeable, unfortunately. But that was fantastic.
Top 12. Mine's pretty good. Tight.
With shot rock in the back 4, Suzanne Birt is electing to guard this path.
Yep.
Mine's tight. Careful.
Halfway. Whoa.
Whoa. Drop. It's going to overcurl.
Good there.
That could be a costly sweeping area on the previous Nova Scotia rock.
That's good.
There's still room to get to the back one.
I think that's the one thing we've said over and over is people are under-icing some of these shots. That guard could leave a little more of a gap between it and the center line guard, and that would make the path even tougher for Nova Scotia.
Yeah. 95.
Yeah, visually from the hack, the thrower thinks that they've done their job, but there's so much curl here.
Gone out a little bit wider with the broom.
I think if she had to, she could actually tap that and sit 2.
I think so too.
Less? No, I'm just not sure. I'm throwing a draw and like second end.
That's what happens when you do play that open
But you had a good read
style.
off hers. Yeah, but I have taken the broom out quite a bit.
Well, I've said this to you before, and Russ and Linda, that, you know, I go back and it sticks with you. You know, sometimes some things that you play the first 5 aggressively, you go after them. Why? Because the ice is best at that point in time. And it just seems too common sense not to do that.
Yeah, because there's a good example there, Vic. It curled a little early, gets into the slower part of the surface, which has now been worn down a little bit, and away it goes.
They were saying 95 at first, and I was like, really? Yeah. And I gave them an 87.
But his 3 chances Nova Scotia's had to get in there, and the only one that got in at all is the one that's just short of being shot rock. Another guard. Careful where you bring this, because there are a couple of red stones out there that are usable.
I'm going to sneak a peek as well over at Ontario and New Brunswick. Now there are 2 red stones just on the edge of the 8. Kathy is down 6-1 here. New Brunswick, Andrea Kelly, she's trying a thin double.
She really is, and this shot is dictated by the scoreboard for sure, Vic. You'd never play this otherwise. It's the only way, though, she thinks that she can bring a 3.
Boy, did you see that wobble coming out? Yeah, that's going to come back for her. No, it will not. And so it is a steal of 1 for sure. And kick away, and the handshakes. So we're assuming it was the 1. 7-1 will be your final score. And Ontario improves their record now to 6-1. So a nice bounce back for Rachel Holman, with Sherry Madaw
That was an 87. That was
handling the house and throwing lead stones.
I think it'll be 80.
As Lisa Weigel continues to get treatment for
Sweep to tee and hope the
a pinch
line's
nerve
here.
in her shoulder. Ontario
85?
losing earlier today to
Even though that last one
Saskatchewan.
was an 87? Different side. All right, you think it's quicker on this side?
Well, again, now, are you just guessing out here with this draw?
It's a bit of a guess. We have seen rocks down both sides. It's just that the weight is different. This certainly will curl. They didn't even look at the opportunity to potentially raise a red one in for the deuce. They just are drawing for 1.
Yeah, I like that angle. Raise with draw weight. You can't hurt yourself. If it hits your own, you score 1. If you get the back one, you get a deuce. Oh, wide enough where it's quicker.
Well, it's got lots, guys. Sit.
It's got a hook, too. And it's going to slide too far. That yellow stone back of the 4-foot is a steal point for PEI. And finally, the crowd here comes alive.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be the only one for me is you. And
M&M and you.
so happy together.
Got you guys Tim's breakfast wraps as a thank you for helping.
They got breakfast wraps?
Yeah, scrambled eggs, sausage, and a whole wheat tortilla.
So we can keep working. These are great. No, I got it.
Oh, let's just wait till after breakfast.
Okay. All stairs.
Freshly prepared with scrambled eggs and real cheddar cheese. Tim Hortons new breakfast wraps. Sausage or bacon, just $1.99 each. Always a great value.
Always Tim Hortons.
At 5 months, your baby is about 8 inches long and weighs about 1 pound. At 5 months, my pregnancy ended, and Emma's life began at 4 months in a neonatal unit. I'm Diane Gushalak, and this is Emma, my happy and healthy little girl. The Sandra Schmirler Foundation provides critically needed funds for neonatal care right across Canada. Please help. A donation of $100 goes a long way in helping newborns like Emma. Not every child grows up to be a champion like Sandra, but every child deserves a chance to grow up.
Michael Ignatieff is back in Canada, but can we afford him? Ignatieff calls himself a tax and spend liberal, and he won't rule out a GST hike.
So I'm not going to take a GST hike off the table.
Ignatieff was the father of the liberal carbon tax, And he even backed an iPod tax of up to $75. Higher spending, higher taxes, and higher prices. Ignatieff, he didn't come back for you.
First-year curler Robert Stevens has really only mastered one weight. Really hard. But on the last rock of the last end of his Thursday night mixed league, he makes his first draw to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. He called it. He made it. And today, for this one moment, Robert Clutch Stevens feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Yeah, so apparently the engineers who built the new 2011 F-150 just got back from a road trip to the future with a new truck engine, okay? It's a bit of high-tech genius called EcoBoost with stuff like direct injection and piston cooling jets. It kicks out power and fuel economy. Try 420 pound-feet of torque and from our pals in Ottawa, an estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. That's Eco and Boost. We got both, they don't. This is the future. This is the new F-150.
Like cashmere.
The Civic Center, of course, is home to the QMJHL PEI Rocket. But tomorrow, you can see the Oilers and Avalanche on TSN at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As we welcome you back, and that Steel Point has Prince Edward Island in front 4-3. They used to have an American Hockey League team here in PEI. The Ottawa Senators had the PEI Senators here. That's when the East Coast had a bunch. I think they had upwards of 7 or 8 American hockey teams. Moncton had one.
That's right, yeah.
Fredericton had the Canadians. Halifax, St. John's Maple Leafs. But then, of course, they all moved elsewhere, and now they've got the Rocket in the queue, and they've made the playoffs.
Oh, then. T. It's curling hard, though.
Yep. This is a tricky spot to play this tourney. It has a lot of curl. There's a center guard up. One top 12.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of a guess for the person throwing because it closes so hard.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep. That's good. Nice shot. That was it.
Nice angle. It over curls. I think it's actually available on the intern side for the right-handed curler now. Heather's electing to draw around. You could go to the open side, back 8.
You got room? Room? Yep. Go if you can. Yes! Gotta go. Hard. Line's good. Line will be fine. Hard. Line's good. Yep. Line's great. Go hard, guys. Line's really good. Hard. Get it around. Girls, okay, you're not around. You're not around. Sit. Okay.
Well, we showed you Saskatchewan getting the 5, Kathy. That was in 7 to blow it open, but Carrie Galusha, there's no quit, is there?
There is definitely no quit in this team, and what you couldn't see because of the player shielding the stone Don Moses was in front of is that Carrie Galusha is already lying 1. Amber Holland's final hit rolled a little bit too far. This is a draw for 2.
Oh, can't bump it, can't bump it.
Galusha from Yellowknife lost her first 4, but has come back with 2 straight wins. And there's the draw for the couple 9-6 as they go to 9.
Play this too. Or just this. I kind of like that. Let's play the double. Firm.
I think the double's the call. It keeps the blank end available if they want to, and they're one down coming home with the hammer, but you have to know your angles. If you can hit about half of this top one, hit the back side of the yellow, punch it out of there, the reds could still end up being buried.
Hard, go! Hurry! Yep, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's fine. Nice.
I think that's why Heather was playing around the center instead of the option of going open like you suggested. I'm assuming it's to try and keep the blank alive, keeping the collection together.
It's working well. It's a pretty nice angle of red-yellow. It might go by. It might clear the back yellow, the red shot rock.
Lined up, are they?
I think yellow shoots across the top.
Not lined up really good.
Look at it at the time.
I really like feeling the guard.
No, I don't either.
Look at the lineup.
I like hitting that top one if it will. Go look at it.
You see that? Pick it out.
Oh, no, don't love that. Go down and look at the angles.
Just come here.
She's throwing it. I'd rather she looks at the angle.
I see 3/4 of that red one.
Yeah.
Too bad that guard has a shit.
I think it's going on. It's going to spin into the open.
It's going to, and
but my
it's going.
shooter will stay there.
You probably lose all 3 of them, which is okay.
But my shooter shoots.
Go take a look.
I don't know
either.
Either this, or if you just do control and just stop. Like,
You don't like feeling it?
Wait, in front of it?
See, you might just punch it.
might just
closer to
pop
the
it
button.
back, yeah. I think it's going to catch it here. Probably pop it back. Whatever you like. I don't mind if you.
Do you want to take a timeout? Time?
Now remember, there is no timeout per se. The clock will continue to run. These are now called coaches' visits. And so that will bring Coach Paul Power down to this end to talk with Suzanne Birt.
She'll probably guard for a shot or two, maybe.
I thought that angle was lined up a little better for us.
No, I don't think that goes into that.
I think if we try this, I
think
might
it's-
just punch this back here unless I throw Pio. And if I throw Pio, then we're losing everything.
Yeah.
Which one are you thinking?
Running this.
This. I can see 3/4 of it.
Paul, do you like peeling that?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it's
it'll
Do you
touching
like
right.
peeling that at all?
I really like that. That's good for us, I think, right now.
Do you like corner freezing here?
Great.
I don't know what else do you like. Draw around everything.
The first 2 are, but then yours.
That yellow's in a good
your
spot for
third
us
one
right now,
has
right?
space.
I don't mind to draw around everything.
Did you like that one? I mean, that yellow's in a good spot right there for us now. I really don't want to dig around too much with it. I don't mind the draw if you like it.
I don't mind the draw.
That's the problem. Too high.
Susan tends to default to the hit. Nothing wrong with that. But in this case, what do you
I
hit?
don't want to lose that.
You hit the top red, you're jamming out your own yellow. You try to hit that back one, you only see a sliver of it. If you peel a guard, which was thrown up by somebody, that would be a no-no because Nova Scotia would either score their 2 or get their blank virtually at will. So, you know, you threw a guard for a reason this end, and you're only laying one in there against you. If you can sink one in here, top of the 4-foot, top button, you can put a lot of pressure on, steal another point. I like the call.
Yeah, I like the call too. And it's early enough in the end. You don't have to go crazy about getting to that scoring area. Anything, as you said, top 4 is great.
I'm a little wide.
Throw it back in their lap.
Wide. Not curling yet. It's really good.
Let's go.
Even
No,
totally
it's not
buried back
curling.
4 and close down that scoring area,
Stop moving.
but not
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
finishing.
Hard. Yep. Go. Hard.
Beautiful weight, just didn't get the curl.
What kind of weight do you like? 10? 10? 10 and a half? Okay. Okay. A little soft.
Want to be careful where you roll with this as well.
Little down. Close.
Rolling back button may not be where you want to go.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Really hard. Really hard.
Got to get it by the stone, top of the 12. And now the inside roll, and it'll spill too far. But Nova Scotia continues to sit the one, top of the 8-foot. And Nova Scotia does have the last rock here in this night.
That was a little wide, so this should be good. A 68 on your split. Think you threw that much? 75.
I'd say 70.
You need it for the curve.
75.
Robin, being totally honest, said she was a wee bit wide, and that gives Shelley a little better feel for what's going to happen here.
Different throw as well. Different rotation, different release. This one should curl more.
And it is. They keep this alive. It's perfect.
Again, they're going to flirt with that stone top 12. Flirt with it. Flirt with it. Oh, look at this. And listen to the crowd as they draw it to the back of the 4.
Shelley Bradley was 90% today. She's really turning it on.
Quickly over to sheet P and a pile of stones. One yellow top of the 4-foot. That's Manitoba, but everything in front of it is also Manitoba. Kathy?
Well, it is, but for Kathy's last one came in a little bit deep, and playing the tap sets up the double for Shannon Clyburn.
Should be good. Should be all right.
Spills it away. And one red, back 4, and a 6-4 lead for Alberta. Pardon me, 5-4. I didn't see the
It's tough to throw a guard
change.
on this ice, so. Well, let's peel the guard for now and see. Because I mean, if it opens up that side to jiggle those rocks around, if you can get access to that middle yellow one.
Like if we jiggle those around now, we'll punch the yellow out here.
I don't know if it's punching that far.
No.
Come have a look. We got lots of time. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of open up both sides.
Yeah, maybe even leave something
maybe
here that's
play
not staggered, right?
Like hack weight here to here. I mean, the middle's still staying congested, but.
Right, but I mean, as long as they're not staggered here.
Exactly. Well, and plus your shooter might give us something too, right?
But do you almost have to get to nose to punch that over enough? Like if you hit half a rock, do you think it's gonna?
Well, it's gonna punch it over, but.
With forward, roll it here.
Forward, well, yeah. Okay, time.
The concern here is that red-yellow. I like the call. Feeling the guard's getting a little late for that. You can play the in-turn tap the red onto the yellow. It's whether that yellow passes the red is what the concern is. I think
it's
it
just a
does.
matter of weight.
Yeah, that's not there.
What?
That's not there from this angle.
If it does pass with maybe a hack forward weight, you can save your shooter, and then you'd have 3 reds with that lone yellow, and you might have some angles to get at it with the rocks in front of the tee line.
I think you got to follow that. If you play something on that red, you're not going to be able to get your shooter and that red to roll this way unless you
Let's
put lots of weight
at it.
and then you're going to kill number 1 if you do that. So your best bet's to come, right down to it. And if they ever hang one out, then you can get rid of that, on the next one and make that thing go away. But I think you just got to follow it down. Okay? Like we want to make sure to score here. And if you leave that guarded, they're going to be guarding them for their life, and you're not going to have access to the back four.
So do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Get shot rock down.
Okay.
How often do you say that, Linda? It's all about timing.
Well, that's what I was talking about actually for PEI, that when they were on seconds rocks, they didn't have to be shot rock. They wanted to have Nova Scotia going after a rock and waste it, and they did that. Then with Shelley, they got in there. So it's interesting to hear Mark, though, suggest that he doesn't like moving anything around. He wants them to come right in. The only thing about this is he said that we want to score, but it's likely to look like a single.
A single, which might not be enough, and this has to be made also.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark's argument is if you tap those around at the top, you might not get a chance to get in there. But I think you would have some red raises if you throw it soft enough. It's hard to tell from here the angle on that red-yellow.
Full line. Full, yep. Okay, line's good. Room.
Nice.
Room.
On its own.
Whoa. Whoa. Line's coming now.
Gotta come down for speed. It's wide enough. It's in the good stuff. It hasn't caught the slower pebble.
Danielle Parsons.
That's
why it wasn't curling.
It's just being a weak part of their game, and I guess that's the one difficulty when you're the coach and looking at the situation and maybe looking at tapping something. Maybe that would be more of a strength of Danielle because she has struggled to find the weight.
What? 88?
Now, do you go for the gusto and sink another one, or are you happy just to possibly steal one? Might be a red tap for New Brunswick or for Nova Scotia on the outturn side. You can see a small half.
That's the only way they can get to the button. Can't get to the That's
I guess that's what she's looking at. There's the intern draw or that red tap for her opponent.
I'd almost like to guard this.
Deciding which side to guard.
I think that we have to guard this, if anything. That's it.
Come here.
I'd rather leave them to slash than...
Come and look at it.
I don't like coming right in. You like just a guard? I don't like coming right in.
No, what about a guard though? I'd rather leave her that slash than this. And if we leave it over there,
I don't mind a guard, Suzanne, but we have to put the guard in a spot that doesn't leave her a run on it or anything, right? Like we almost have to be touching center line.
I'm just thinking,
actually that's not good either.
If we guard it though,
As good from down here as it does from.
Yeah, the slash doesn't look as
looks
good.
really good from. If she hits what she hits what she can see, it's going to the top button.
Oh, I'm in the underwear yellow.
No, just to tapping it to the button.
Yeah, that's all
But
right.
right now, her easier
It
shot's
keeps
the
her to
draw.
one, right?
Her easier shot's the draw, right?
So why don't we guard her draw now?
But tight.
Still have two
Tight
shots
guard.
left to come.
Tight, so we can use it.
Well, tight, not too tight. We don't want her
No,
running
we don't
the
want to double
run
that.
back double,
Over
right?
here.
Where do you think it should go?
Yeah. But you want it over enough that we can use it if we need it?
Yeah. Or we come right around. But I'm just afraid what if I rub off that red one and spill open? I don't mind the guard.
You guys don't like guarding this side. If she comes down,
I think
she
this is
comes
easier
down
shot.
to us though, we can come down to her.
Yeah, but I still
You can
Even if
still
she-
come down to her
even
if she slashes it to the button. She's got to be pretty darn perfect.
And her shooter's gonna roll.
And she's going to roll out and might even have an in off.
What's that?
I like the guard If this she side. plays the tap, her shooter's going to roll out a touch, right? Yeah. You'll have something. I just think this is easier when they just threw it.
Okay.
Not sure how you
What
ice to get
about-
there, though.
Coming in.
Yep.
Come top four maybe, and trying to, in that way you take away that draw, possibly.
Sure, with the maximum amount of curling we have nowadays, your best guard second shot, and if you can, you just made that one a minute ago, and there is risk. Shelley mentioned if you tick the top red coming in, you roll open, sets up a double, and then Nova Scotia sitting two, possibly buried. But once in a while you have to make shots, and I think this is a great opportunity. There's nothing wrong with the guard, Linda, but I think I'd go around there too. I think Vic's right.
Well, especially when you do have the same thrower. Sometimes if you're moving from second to third, you're not exactly sure where to put the broom. That's when you get the mistake. But Shelley made a beautiful shot on her first.
And she should be the last one worried about playing the come around. She just did it.
Watch it.
This isn't wrong either, and that's the neat thing with the sport. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep. Whoa. That's good, Shell.
Not wide enough though, and we see that time and time again. They guard part of the one that's already guarding it. They could take 2 feet more ice there. Even if you left a hole, there's so much curl, you'd never get in there.
But what was interesting in the conversation is they didn't want to put a guard where it could be run into the one at the back of the four. But that starts to talk about angle and distance and all the things that you'd factor in to make it more difficult for them to use that guard. So I think that was the plan, to have it over curl, and that means there is room for Danielle to draw in.
It's tougher than last time, and this might even be quicker out here, so they have to be careful.
Line's good.
Well, this is just her 5th intern draw, and she's curling 31% on them.
Looks heavy.
Hard.
They got to get it by though.
And they have. And this will go heavy, go back. 8 foot.
else are you going to do? We're just leaving it for her unless we find another guy.
Great line.
You like this?
Yep. Yeah, I like throwing it like top 12, and if the line's great, just suck it in.
Yeah, top 12. If the line's good, we'll take it in. Okay, let's go. Okay, 90.
Because there's tight guard here.
One of the things that does happen in this style of game as you're staring at that scoreboard and looking at all the blanks, I feel anyways that Suzanne became very tentative in her approach, and now it seems like she's tentative in this end, worried about a lot that can go wrong, instead of having that positive thought of all the things that could go right if she makes this shot. So I think the fact that all the team agreed with the come around in this case is what's convinced her. Her first thought, I think, was the worry of if you don't make it perfectly, what you leave.
If they take away the actual situation and the guards, you're just throwing a draw to the button here. You've got a wee bit more ice than the button. We know it's keen out here. If you're a little bit light, it's not bad. If they can sweep it quarter buried top 12 and Nova Scotia tries to run it in, they can take out their own rock. If you make this thing perfect, this could win the game. So, like you say, there's no reason to be nervous here. This is a big opportunity.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, yep. Hard.
Oh, if the speed's there, this is golden.
Robin McKee on the left. Leslie McDougall on the right. Now, they're going to judge this. Are they going to take it all the way? They talked about 12. If they like the line, oh, they let it go. They may have been able to take it a little bit more, but they waited for the break, and they got it to the top 12.
When you don't play on ice that finishes this big, you get fooled, and it's like, you gotta wait for the line. But the sweepers, they stay on that thing all the way down, and that's dead buried.
But don't you think it's also planting the thought of,
Do we want to play?
set it in the 12-foot, brush it to the 4-foot, and then you're cautious again with the brushing. You've got to say, we want it here, pat the spot, tell the brushers, and let them do it.
Soft nose. You got it. Yeah, let's go.
Nice opportunity there to, it's the only way that Heather can
I'm not
get
going
at
to
this
chuck
rock.
it. Just a 9. Okay. All right, let's go, Heather. All right. Get that rock out of there. Yeah. Please. Yeah. My best.
Just a little off center, but an inch.
Heather Smith-Dacey, and her first for Nova Scotia, down by 1 as we play in 9. Have to get it by the Yellowstone out in front first. Oh, they couldn't hold it for her, and she'll run it by.
Close.
We took a little too long to jump onto the brushing.
That really curled a lot of speed there.
That was close.
The PEI fans want this guard made well. They see the opportunity for a steal if it is placed in the right spot.
Not too tight to it, though. No. 95.
Big rotation will help here to keep it out there straight.
Where? Halfway. Long. Long, okay. Yep. Gotta move a lot. Yep. Hurry. Every inch. Hard. Every inch. Keep going. Yep. Gotta move, guys. Yep. Wow.
Oh, it's not long.
Little panic. Have they taken away the raise now?
Visibly they have, but it's maybe even made it easier. It's just a hair off center here, and they can
We
go
just like I'm almost at the 4 here.
yellow-red.
That's gonna come in. It's almost right on the 4. Okay.
Want me to throw a little harder?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
That was a little panic rushing
Go ahead, you got
PEI's part because I think it was Shelley didn't think it was going to come over, maybe just not communicating how deep that was coming. Suzanne had said in
Might
the
as well try
hack,
it.
not too close. Well, that's too close.
There's a great line up there, just a little off center. Yellow, red, yellow. If Heather sticks this, it's a chance for 3. A lot of weight here.
Heather Smith-Dacey looking for the double angle raise, trying to bump up the red stone to possibly get the shot rock off the back four as well. Going to get it? No, she's going to run it by. Prince Edward Island is going to steal one more here in 9.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Sports Center Newsroom. I'm Darren Letitia. We've got the Scotties coming your way in just a few seconds' time. We'll get you back there in a moment. Let us bring you up to date on what's going on in the National Hockey League tonight. We're going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the New York Islanders. Islanders playing their best hockey of the year. Nikolai Kulemin drops it for Clark MacArthur. He goes upstairs on Al Montoya. That's his 18th. That'll make it 1-0. How about Matt Molson, the season he's having? That's his 27th. That ties the game at 1. They're still tied. Oilers looking for a 4th straight win as they take on Mini. First period, Taylor Chorney gives it away. Next thing you know, Nikolai Habibulin has to bail him out with a save. Scoreless there. Raptors in Charlotte. Second quarter, Steven Jackson to Nazim Muhammad. He's going to throw down the two-handed flush. Bobcats up by 11 minutes. Jackson from beyond the arc. 3-ball. Raptors were down 17 at the half. It is now 103 to 87. Raptors getting thumped. Sports Center after the curling.
Why are sponge towels so absorbent? It's the Sponge Pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
This is where I discovered how determined she is. This is where I learned how confident they are. This is where I noticed how much they've grown. This is where I realized we have so much to learn from each other.
Mexico, the place you thought you knew.
3M brings you a revolution in hockey stick tape, giving you maximum control, superior grip, and vibration reduction. Introducing the 3M Liquid Flex Stick Coating, the official tape of Hockey Canada. 3M Hockey, exclusively a Canadian Tire.
Look, everybody wants the same things in a pickup. Yeah, you don't need a bunch of donut eaters at a focus group to tell you that. But only the engineers at Ford seem to get it. Because they cranked out an all-new line of engines for the 2011 F-150 to give you the most torque, most towing, most horsepower, most payload, and you won't be put in a chokehold every time you fill up, because you can also get the best fuel economy. Chew on that. This is the future. This is the new F-150.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be. The only one for me is you.
M&M and you.
So happy together.
Nothing feels like cashmere.
Make it 7 straight wins for Saskatchewan and Amber Holland out of the Chrono Curling Club as they beat the Northwest Territories Yukon and Kerry Galusha of Yellowknife 9-7 the final. We haven't seen many, but this is a key shot for PEI.
It took a lot of chatting to discuss what to play, but Shelley Bradley does exactly what they want, and that is sink one in behind all that cover. And that ends up to be a very blessed stone that nothing could remove, and that is a steal point for PEI.
The key shot is brought to you by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere. So here we go to the 10th, and Prince Edward Island leads 5-3 over Nova Scotia, having stolen the last 2 points, a single in 8, single in 9, and Nova Scotia with the last rock, playing the Red Stones here in 10.
Three well-thrown rocks, top of the 4 and top of the 8. Perfect corner guard. Nova Scotia will set up a second corner, try to be the exact same speed.
Good sweep, girls. Line's good. Okay, that's nice.
Let's nail it.
Look at that. 1, 2, maybe even 3. Alberta is sitting 2 at least, Kathy, and this has just been all too familiar for Kathy Overton-Clapham.
Well, it has. Kathy has spent the whole night looking at a sea of red. She's trying to get to the face of the stone that Shannon Clybrink just threw. I'm not sure if she can get shot.
And is she going to be able to get by the guard? Karen Paul is calling them on. Got a brush. They got it by. Got it by. Move it. Oh, I don't know if they moved it far enough, but they'll have a look. One red it is. And it's Alberta now with a 6-4 lead going to 10. Manitoba will have the last rock coming home.
Another incredibly great shot by Kathy O, and it's a steal, but it could have been a lot worse. And,
could have been handshakes.
I don't think you could physically make it any better than she just did. That went through the guard, lots of weight, as much movement as she could possibly get, and stays in the game.
Make them even.
At the very beginning, Russ, you talked about the coach, Mark Dacey, for this Nova Scotia team and the brilliant way he generated 3 in the 10th end against Randy Furby in the Brier final. And it was around some rocks in the house, actually, that they wrapped a little bit more of an overlap in the Brier situation. But you never know if that'll come into play.
You think back, does PI need 2 in the rings? Because that's exactly what happened to Alberta in that situation with Mark Dacey. The lead for Alberta at the time, Angle froze them, and Bruce Lonis, Mark's Vice, went around it a couple of times with perfect sweeping and scored 3.
It's back here.
Once in a while it happens.
Instead of that, with Bliss, they'll try the tap back technique, try and move the yellow ones back so that they can play some freezes and maybe get some jams.
Hard line. Hard line.
Boy, this started early.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard line. Go. Keep it going.
Go just to hit it.
Yep. Keep it going. Yep. Hard line. Hurry. Really hard. Okay.
Still like working the guard.
Feel that?
A lot of people think you need to hit the one in the rings when you have a 2-point lead, but this is the one that can hurt you, and that draws the play possibly into the rings with rocks all in the same positioning. So even if you remove both those yellows, there might be a double on the red later to win the game.
Shelley Bradley is his 10th moves along very quickly.
Nice job.
PEI leading by 2.
It's okay. Sinker in there, 4. Yep.
Well, unfortunately, Danielle has struggled with draw weight, and this is a very precise and very difficult draw to make.
Go hard then.
Trying to get to the face of shot rock.
Line's great. Hard, you guys. Top 4.
Got to keep it going. It's starting to curl into the slower area. You don't want to set up a double in the top reds.
Hard, guys. past that one. Go. Hard. Is there a double there? Sure, she's looking at it. That? Guess not. Want to throw this turn?
The double is there if you crease that top red one really thin. Bit dangerous.
I think at this point they're waiting to see if Nova Scotia can make a big shot. At this point, they haven't been as precise, so hit the one and see what happens.
Whoa! Yep. Good. Shot. Shot. Good. It's really big, Shelly. I don't know if this does us any good. Time out. We'll have a look. Like that at all? Another time. Yeah, mark one at a time. Okay. Call time. Time.
So again, a coach's visit being called by Nova Scotia, and Mark Dacey will come to the floor.
Might as well do it before they junk it up. Or get rid of it.
We need to move that one on the top 4 foot, so.
Yeah, you gotta move the red.
Red onto the 3, maybe.
I think you gotta move the red. Yeah, but I think you gotta move it further than that.
Yeah.
So that if you do happen to hit it pretty full, that at least you move the yellow behind the tee line. So you're probably looking at kind of the maximum weight you could play where you would never lose the red and never lose your receiver, but the most weight you could play.
Just to get some separation.
Yeah, because if you hit it a bit thick and you hit it onto that yellow, not bad. And you want the shooter to roll a bit. Probably talking backline weight. Play to hit it thick.
Meanwhile,
so that
Paul
red
Power
hits the
talks
yellow,
with Suzanne Birt.
And the red stays in that one. Exactly. Well, it's never going over there.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
You may remember, Russ, well, you weren't in it, was 1990, the Briar in Sault Ste. Marie. And Power played for Jim Sullivan.
Oh, that's right.
He played lead for Jim Sullivan out of New Brunswick. He went to the final.
Lost the final to Eddie.
Yeah. Maybe hack. I mean, think backline will do it? Yeah, okay.
How's that look? Is that enough? Back line, isn't it?
So it's the same thought process as Heather, but Mark just indicating that you have to make sure that you do tap the things out of the way, get that red one pushed back, and maybe open up shot rock.
It's easy when you know the sport that you don't want to throw this very hard in case you roll out. But Mark's suggesting get some separation, so throw the maximum weight that you won't roll out, maybe a back line-ish or a little bit more, as long as you get a piece of the red one and separate them as far as possible.
Your line's a bit tight. Yep. Back 8. Hard line. Hard line.
Not very heavy either.
Quick. Really hard line. Go hard, guys. Yep.
Trying to hold the line now for Danielle Parsons. Was hoping to spring this one back, and it'll over curl. You know, when Mark was out there, he said you've got to throw the maximum that you can throw, and maybe that's the kind of shot that Parsons just can't play.
Well, it's a fine shot, Vic, but I guess the good thing when you look at the house is it left a couple of reds in play. That was one of the things Mark said, and they are both difficult to remove because of the yellows. To make the double and hit it just right.
I don't like messing with that. That's really good for us.
Like our angles are not great here.
Yeah, but we're still. What do we want to guard, though? Maybe we want to guard that.
No, this isn't lined up for anything.
No.
So I don't see why we couldn't guard this.
Should we take a timeout?
This isn't lined up at all. Unless you cross the face.
Well, she could slice it and then straight back double.
It's not going to get the double.
Okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind that.
I don't even mind this for now. Do you like that?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
We just have to make sure we
tapping it a little bit.
To be third shot.
What?
I don't mind tapping it a little bit and sitting there.
Okay.
You like that?
Yep.
Is that the right good ice there? Yep. Okay, the short won't hurt us.
Just the tap.
Let's take a moment to check the game story, Linda.
Wide open game in many aspects with all those blanks, but some errors. PEI error leads to the 3-ender in 3 for Nova Scotia, and then the mistake last end, the inability to run back for Nova Scotia and a steal for PEI. There is quite an edge at that last rock position, favoring Suzanne Birt.
The game story is brought to you by the Dominion, Canada's trusted insurance company.
Interesting, you'd normally hit here with a 2-point lead, but they're a little worried the top one's not going anywhere. You definitely get the second one out, which they didn't think would, but they might lose a couple of yellows. So what they've decided is angles are pretty good. Let's make Heather earn it. She only has 2 shots left.
Top 8.
Just top 8.
You're good.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Hard, hard, hard.
Yep. Take that one.
Okay, good shot.
Well, now it's PEI sitting 3. They're up by a couple.
That's good. That's good.
I think so.
Is there any chance there? Kind of have to come into this one. I mean, it's gonna have no weight.
Can't get here with the draw, can you?
Well, I could, but no.
They're guarding it next.
I don't know. I don't think I have much. I mean, I guess we could try this double. What if we move this? I mean, there's just... Maybe we open this one up, and if she doesn't make her guard, we'll have something back. But it doesn't matter. Well, I guess we could send this one in on this one, right? And open this one up. So try and get this one in so that these two could count, right? Like send this one in, actually.
I mean, if you
might
make it,
even. But I needed to get shot. That's all. I guess there's a chance. You think that's all we have?
I think
right now.
I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything else that could set us up for 2 here.
No. I think we send this one in here, and then if she doesn't make her guard on this one, you know, hopefully we can get this one in here so it's not easy to remove.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a 9. Okay. Half a rock? Yeah.
They're trying to come down this way. It's an interesting call. It's kind of an out-of-the-box thinking, but he might get lucky doing that, and it does open up this rock here to play the raise, but it also opens it up for the PI team, and they'll be able to peel it out of there. I kind of like
trying to send this one in to make it
this call.
Like third shot. Okay. And then if you know, if it's not that accessible, then we might have a shot on the front one for a raised double.
If you play it that way, Lindy, you roll over, maybe bump the red over a little bit, and you have a couple raises for that raised double later on.
It is desperation thinking, I think, whichever way you look at it, but this is a really tricky angle for Heather.
You're going to lose your shooter. Can you save the one you're raising?
And this is the first for Nova Scotia. They do have last rock down by 2.
Good shot. Okay. Nice.
Didn't lose the shooter.
Not bad. Great shot, Heather.
It's not bad.
This hit the side, didn't it?
I don't know.
That hit the side.
Hit it quite a bit thicker than they wanted to. Managed to save all 3 red.
Just hang on a second here, Sue. Okay, good.
We need to roll in a little bit.
6-4 Alberta leads. Kathy, time issue here for Manitoba, and look at that. They're both teams playing very slowly. So down to the final 34. Kathy Overton Clapham down by 2. Has she got a shot to win this?
Well, it's sure tough because she needs to score 2, and the time clock was the issue this entire end. Kathy not even coming down for her first stone, and that hurry-up offense certainly hurt the team.
Whoa! Cap! Whoa! Whoa! Yes! Whoa! Whoa!
Leslie Wilson, Renora Westcott, move it, and no.
Control!
It'll be 1 for Manitoba, 6-5 the final as we watch Suzanne Birt.
Go hard, hard, hard! Hard, hard, hard!
And she'll make it go away.
Yeah, but she curled enough that the Redstone is third shot.
So now the chance is there with the double to possibly get the deuce.
Off nose. Yep.
Miraculous get out of jail by
Same line I just threw.
Team Nova Scotia
Is
here.
that like a 9? Yep.
Had to roll anywhere the other direction.
Stock nose. Okay.
Final stone. Make the double, hold the shooter. We'll play one more. Nova Scotia. Heather Smith-Dacey out of the Mayflower in Halifax. Now trying to hold it for her. Don't want to stuff it. Will it spill far enough? Needs to go, and it will not. It'll be one more for PEI and a 6-3 win. Prince Edward Island will win it. Make the final. 6-3 PEI improves to 4-3, and Nova Scotia loses their third. Saskatchewan remains undefeated at 7-0, followed by Ontario at 6-1. Team Canada's next, and they'll have a showdown tomorrow morning. PEI, Nova Scotia, Alberta, all at 3 losses. Everyone else under 500 at this year's Scotties.
The 2011 Scotties Tournament of Hearts